Okay,
Ando and I
so
were trying to
let's
find you on
see.
the train.
Oh.
Sam, have you had time to settle in from work and give yourself a moment?
Face makeup is off. I'm as settled in as I'll ever get.
Okay.
What about
Just
comfy
making-
clothes?
Do you have
Oh,
a
yeah,
beer
sweatpants.
yet? If you have a beer, then
I
you're
have-
really settled.
Yeah, I've grabbed a beer. I've grabbed a
Okay.
beer.
Okay.
Then we're good.
We don't want to rush you.
No.
Alrighty.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. When last we left off, you guys had finally gone back to Rexentrum and infiltrated successfully, retrieving information from the library or the reserve of the Cobalt Soul there. Especially with some clutch interference via Tori and the Wall of Force spell. Although eventually one of them did actually intercede and dealt Blue a severe amount of damage before you all absconded into the tunnel again, where you, upon exiting, found yourself face to face with another ex-member of the Cobalt Soul here in Rexentrum, who then led you guys to a clandestine sewer outpost of a small group of seemingly initiates at the Cerberus Assembly, or not the Cerberus Assembly, the Academy, the Soltris Academy here in Rexentrum, as well as a few of ex-members or members of the Cobalt Reserve and Cobalt Soul here in Rexentrum, acting as a form of resistance, as it were. And we will pick up as you guys wake up from a long rest here in their little alcove, having managed to sneak away with the information and get your long rest and spend some time scrying and things last night.
Oh, yeah.
And Celia, weren't you going to try some sort of legend lore stuff on the things that we got? Or the books? The weird books?
On the good book, yes.
And the evil
Yes.
one, so that we could read it. I feel
Yeah.
like Julia wakes up in Blue's face, like right here. She just goes, "Do the book thing."
I thought we already did the book thing and Mateo was reading it to you.
Yeah, we did a
yeah,
Arthance
yeah.
thing on the book and determined it wasn't
You
cursed.
were absolutely.
Assume, yeah.
One of
Perfect.
the books is definitely being read, I'm pretty sure.
It
Mhm.
was the evil one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the good book that had blank pages and my little revealing solution didn't reveal anything.
So, I'm imagining the incense. I got like 5 pounds of it. In the
Yep.
5 pounds, would you say that it's at worst 250 gold points?
I would say
Yes.
yes. If you
Points.
burned all of it, yes, probably.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
so much incense.
A lot of incense.
Oh my god!
I mean,
Wow, yeah.
250
Smell like
gold
a
worth of
witch's asshole
incense
in
is a
there.
shit ton of incense.
I hope you did it
That is not-
outside.
It
Yeah,
is
take a
going to
moment
smell like
outside.
a witch's asshole in here.
You
Oh
just
my
see me
God.
just dump
this out.
You're gonna go out into the street in Rexentrum and
No.
start casting a ritual.
We're not going to
No,
go
you're
into an
not.
There's a
enclosed door.
backyard,
You
Ian.
super
Come on.
Yeah.
duper
There is no
not.
backyard. You guys are underground, if you remember correctly. You're like in a
Can
sewer
I go
alcove.
into
Oh,
a
here,
well-ventilated alcove of the sewer?
It was a big cavern. Go into that big cavern space.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm
just
just
'cause
going to choke everyone out. I just dump
Of course,
5
we're in
pounds
the
of
sewer.
incense.
Maybe we need that much incense for this.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll
Yeah.
smell delicious.
It
So
will
just
be much better probably than what we have been spilling. So never
Yep.
mind.
begin burning like 5 pounds worth of incense.
I will say you
Oh,
probably don't just burn it all in one
Yeah.
gigantic like sage stick. You probably
Very
spread it
good
out
call,
in
yeah.
a very artistic and arcane representation of whatever it is that you are casting,
Yeah.
with many sticks all over the place. Probably scatter it all over the alcove that you guys are staying in, and then cast within the center of that would probably be what I would suggest. So it's not like you're just
Absolutely.
burning a giant log of incense.
And then I'll also set
But there
out
is a lot
my
of
little.
sudden little like embers around the chamber as she lights incense and begins sticking them into the wall and floor and hanging them from ceilings and everything that she can, basically.
I'll set out that little elephant ivory thing, ivory statue of I think it was an elephant.
Yes, the thing that Baron gave you.
Yeah, the Baron gave me. And then I shall cast Legend Lore on the good book,
Okay.
where you just at least name or describe a person, place, or object the spell brings to your mind. A brief summary of the significant lore of the thing you named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or even secret lore. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information. The more information you already have about the thing, the more precise and detailed the information you receive is. Information I learn is accurate, but might be couched in figurative language. So, yeah, no,
Okay.
that.
So, as you would, I guess, let's see, what level is that? Okay, cool.
Sam
Interesting.
says, make sure to keep the incense away from the fire bead curtain.
Uh-huh. Yeah, good call.
From the fire bead. Yeah.
Yeah, the curtain of death, as it were. But what are you doing?
Yes.
Well, initially I had heard fired beef curtain, and I was like,
Hmm.
No, that's something else.
Something else. You can find out later.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Korean barbecue.
Mm.
Speaking of incense, Sam, I saw a picture on Reddit the other day that was like it's like a Snapchat or something of someone holding like just a fistful of incense in their hand, and it says, "I love the smell of incest."
Oh, it's the
no.
twins. Ew. Found their Snapchat. Gross.
Okay, so let's see. With that cast, I would say the first thing you would note is that you become acutely aware of the fact that
Ranger.
the book itself almost seems to absorb the spell as well as it being cast upon it. And as that happens, you would see the cover itself then has a glowing, almost runic image that is portrayed across it, and you would note all of the pages gain filigree that glows across the edges of all of them. And the legend lore almost seems to be eaten by the book.
Oh. Nothing happens?
If you the book itself has writing on it, it didn't have it before.
Oh. Oh, what's it say?
It would say Tome of Isolation in
Yes, I
celestial
do it.
across the front.
We found it. The Tome of Isolation that has the rites of prime banishment.
Then looks really surprised. He goes, wow. Okay.
It seems like you have to cast magic into it because that ate up about 5 pounds of incense and an expensive ivory statue.
I would note that, yeah, the statue crumbles to dust, and there is a severe whipping of wind as the spell coalesces into the book, and all of the incense goes out and seems to just fill that room
And
with
blue-
that
oh my
trailing smoke.
Say it again,
So?
Sarah.
And Blue goes, oh.
So much patchouli.
Yeah, a lot of patchouli. So, if we want to read the book and perhaps perform the rite, if it comes to that, someone will have to cast some decently powerful spells into the book to make it readable, maybe even usable. So,
Sorry, I had to get my
Holy
dog food. I'm back.
Oh, good. So, choking on incense. So sorry.
Yeah.
So does it have to be a big spell have to be cast again, or is it now readable because you just cast that big spell?
I'm imagining that since at one point it was used, and perhaps used multiple times, before it would have to be cast again.
Yeah, if you did that first thing in the morning, I would say that by the time you guys finish breakfast and get ready to leave this little alcove, the text and the cover have faded back to their kind of battered and damaged ancient appearance.
So it'll take like an hour for it to fade.
Is it possible to have like read through a little bit of it in that time? Somebody?
Yeah,
Or is
I
this
would
one of those
say
things
that
that
in
you
reading
only want to
through
read
it, you
it
would
like
get the knowledge that this is an arcane spell that must be cast while the trammels are being driven into the creature. So it would be a group effort. Somebody would have to drive a trammel into the target of your banishment while you are casting this spell at the same time. So basically, you can spend an action to invoke the rites of prime banishment against a target. The target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is DC 10, plus 5 for each prime trammel fused to the target.
Ooh,
On a
boy.
failure, the target is banished and sealed, and this book is immediately teleported to the Endless Athenium.
Sorry, I think this book is probably up your alley. Arcane spells.
On a success, the target becomes, or the text becomes blurred until the end of your next turn. So
Hmm.
here, I can put this into the roll, or yeah, we'll put it in the Roll20 chat here. So, oh, I guess I'll put this as the first part of it. So, you can spell slot any spell of 3rd level or higher.
Oh, perfect. Good.
And that reveals the text and the cover. And then you can, it remains for an hour, and then you can use an action to attempt to banish a divine being. I guess you could attempt it on something else if you really wanted to be a dick.
Let's
little
test
bit
it
of
on
overkill
this.
there?
Let's test it on this sewer rat.
Haha. I don't think we're gonna make a field trip to the
Let's
endless
just test it on
Athenium.
this sewer rat. Okay.
Quick,
Ah,
get a
fuck.
scramble.
The sewer rat is fine. It rolled an 18
Oh,
on
no.
its wisdom
Oh
save.
god.
We should
That's
kill.
why rats are hard to kill.
We should kill that rat. He
Should
knows
kill that
things.
rat.
He knows too
I
much.
think
Just start
knows
beating
too
him into the
much.
wall.
His sanity score is too high.
Just feed it to Freya.
There you go.
Give it a
Feeding.
punch.
This Puddle, I'll give Puddle food. I just remembered him with Puddle.
Puddle will
He's
munch
not
down on
gonna
some
get rid
raw
of
meat, I
starvation.
suppose.
Sam.
Puddle and Freya are the new sprinkles.
Yes, they
Oh
are.
no.
Yes.
And Blue just goes, oh.
I would note
You
that
know, the bird weirds are out. Bird weirds are out.
yeah, Larion
Puddles?
is within the place. The other 2 members of the Cobalt Soul are currently missing, and you would see Baron is there, but the other 2 initiates seem also to be currently missing when you guys finish up your breakfast and stuff.
So are we gonna try and get what figure out how to make these trammels? Because the twins always seem about a step and a half ahead of us anytime we catch up to them.
Weren't
Maybe.
the original ones like torched by a god? Really?
Hmm?
As cool as we are, I don't think we have those capabilities.
We can
Yeah,
always
but
ask.
Vox Machina did it, didn't they? Isn't that what somebody said?
I have
They're
no
not
idea.
gods.
And
Did they
Hmm?
explain, please?
Yeah, some of us don't actually listen to Critical Role, so
No, this was
some.
somebody had said this. Or it was part of somebody knowing that in character.
It was a lore thing we learned from, I think, probably.
It was a lore thing you guys learned from a Bodwinkle novel that you picked up a long time
Oh.
ago when you were
Okay.
studying about Bodwinkle and all of his writings.
The summary is that Vox Machina found a way to craft the trammels and get the rights and banished Vecna from the prime material plane.
Mm.
So they chit-chatted with some gods and got some trammels from them.
Or forged them themselves, you're not sure.
Or forged them themselves. Right.
I mean, that part's really wishy-washy as far as concrete information. But
I mean,
apparently
not to
they got a
brag.
hold of some trammels and managed to banish this Vecna creature that is not necessarily a well-known thing or a well-known deity. Very recently ascended from mortality to godhood, or from lichdom to godhood, according to different sources. And that would be, I guess, when that is said, Mateo maybe might think of the new tapestry hanging in the hall within the Divine Gate.
I did mention that to everyone too. That there was a new tapestry.
Is somebody we can ask. We know a member of Vox Machina.
You do?
Yeah, didn't we talk to her and she told us she would not?
You weren't there for that, Arthan. You were kind of gotten.
Huh.
That's right, you weren't there for that.
Yeah, I missed a lot.
But we could talk to them, see what they know. We have some connections in the god world, I'd say. We have some places to ask about first, but yeah.
Okay. Did you want to try to message this person that you know then?
I can message. Anyone can message who can message if anybody wants to.
I don't have that ability.
Tori?
What exactly do we want to say?
How do we make a trammel, or where do we go to find them? I don't know.
Like, hey, got the Tome of Isolation.
I
Kinda need
feel like
trammels.
that's not something that they're just gonna tell us.
We can arrange a meeting, I'm sure. Maybe.
She did seem concerned that this was happening. That's why she didn't lend us aid when we asked for it. So maybe that concern will
Light a fire under her ass?
yeah, give her a reason to give us the information we need.
Be like, hey, got some Tome of Isolation. Might need trammels. Heard you can help.
Hey.
Couldn't go wrong with that.
Yeah, that would
Maybe
definitely
make it-
pique
yeah.
curiosity, I think.
So
Yeah, so you would note that, I guess, in the corner, Baron is sitting and scrolling into a book. But he would be the only one you would recognize.
That's gonna go over there and peek and see what he's writing.
Currently, it looks like he's actually transcribing a book, literally word for word.
Ugh.
into a blank book.
That's rough.
Ooh, yeah. What's the book he's transcribing?
Looks like it's history of some kind.
Ugh.
Neat. All right.
Where'd the other two go?
They've all moved out of the chamber by the time you guys got up and started moving around.
Oh, I mean, now that we have the password for the golems over there at the Cobalt Soul, we could go over there and do some either more research or discuss things.
Without pain of death, so that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Huh.
Wasn't there something we wanted to get to that we couldn't? Am I remembering right?
It
Blue, I
wasn't,
think
and-
you.
And she wouldn't have said it loud.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Blue was trying to get something.
We can always send our spells, send our messages, go back to this Cobalt Soul, do maybe more research, a bit safer, and see where that takes us.
Honestly, at this point, what else do we
Try a
need to
bit.
know?
Hmm.
We know that I'm all for it, but there comes a time when action has to be the next thing.
Do you have an idea of what we can do? What our action should be?
I mean, we know the next location that the twins are supposed to be. Why don't we go there and stop them and hopefully kick their asses and see how it goes from there?
We don't know that they're going to be there themselves. We just know that that's a next spot of the chain.
Well,
Right, and don't we want to not let them break the chain?
Again, the semantics is we know where a next chain is. We don't know if that's the one they were going to. I think all Celia asked was where's the next chain, not where's the next chain the twins are going to.
Gods do
Is
like
it
to
better
get
than
picky.
nothing?
It's true.
I don't know how we would find out where they're going from here. At least if we go to the next chain location, there's a chance.
Didn't we hear someone saying that they could increase a guard around a chain? Who was that? Was that the
Isn't that Vex?
wasn't that Vexalia? So if she knows where a location to a chain is, absolutely we should let her know about this stuff. And then maybe, I don't know, try and deduce what their next likely location is going to be. Because we have two ideas of where they could go so far.
Well, it sounds like you're gonna have to keep scrying on them as constantly as possible to figure that out because they ran back. Oh, they went to the to the drow.
Yes. Where apparently their dad is also the Bright Queen, and just like,
Yeah, it'd be pretty
That's
cool if we
creepy.
could, show people that that's not actually their Bright Queen, but I have no idea how to stage something like that at the Kryn Dynasty.
they'd have to honestly just take our word, which is
We're shit
A
right now
lot.
because they don't know who we are.
Right.
Why don't we start off by sending to Vexalia?
Then we're back
These-
to our original question of what do we want to say to her?
There is also a looming question of how many chains are there and how many are broken already.
6 shackles with 1 broken, says the creepy book, I think. No, it says something in my notes.
So 6
Yes.
shackles with at least 1 broken.
Yeah, we
Yes,
don't
at
know
least
for
1
sure.
broken.
One that we know of.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, I feel like I butcher my sending spells a lot. I can send, but if you think you'll be more concise, you're more than welcome to send to Vexalia as well.
I mean, pair of twins trying to bring back, what's his name? Thurzadun?
Tharizdun.
Tori just kind of like puts a hand up. I think I got it. Don't worry about it.
All right.
And
Thank you,
I do
Tori.
this. I do the sending Ian, and it would be. Let's see. We've seen a chain of Tharzadon broken.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? Then shop at City Market. We give you more ways
We
to
know
fresh you love.
where another is,
Where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, giving you prices that are
but
lower
maybe
than low. City Market, fresh for everyone.
Get more ways to save at the buy 5 or more, save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card.
we need
City Market,
Trammels.
fresh for everyone.
Worst case scenario.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings.
So there's maybe
Allstate customer.
a good 2 or 3 minutes of solid just silence as you wait,
Visit Allstate.com.
almost all with bated breath, and then you would get the response of,
Minimum effort, maximum reward.
"Darling, if you need Trammels, you will also require a bead of divinity per Trammel forged."
The fuck
I
does that mean?
suppose you might start searching for more pious friends, or perhaps devote yourselves deeper. That would be the response.
Devote deeper.
Or more pious friends? Is that what you said? Pious?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, let's
I
go to a
mean-
temple.
I mean, a bead of divinity, like a gift from the gods, like a bead from the gods.
I don't really know what that means.
Oh man. Well, we have some god friends. Avandra, Traum, Aaron kind of, but she kind of creeps me out just a little bit. Avandra though, for sure. You know? Like she's got our backs, you know.
I like how Aaron Rune creeps you out, but Traum's fine.
Traum's fine. Aaron
Well, I was supposed to seek out Tram and become an neuromancer.
That's a great start.
So,
Well, I think
should
we need to
see?
get. I think we need to get the Dreamer's Rock for that.
What do you mean?
It seems having something called the Dreamer's Rock that was made by the Goddess of Dreams would help for becoming an Oneiromancer. Mind
I
you,
see.
that is my theory about it.
Okay. Well, I do have my dream box. So I could try to work with Tron. See if we can get some help.
I mean, I can always talk to Fandra, see how she
can-
feels.
Is
You can try talking to Throm.
Is devotion for the sake of getting us even count as devotion?
I mean, I'm
Mm.
super devout.
Well, yeah, but that makes 1, maybe 2.5 of us.
True.
2.5?
You. Ugh.
I'm just wondering
I
where the
might
half
be a
is coming
half.
from. Oh, okay.
Right? I'm trying to start to be.
Oh, I am
I'm-
definitely
I'm-
devout.
I'm not saying this right. Never mind.
No, I think I get what you meant.
Well, should I go try to find a temple?
To Traum,
To
There is
Traum?
no temple to Traum.
unfortunately.
No?
No, the one that she had that she went to go look at was in Draconia, and it had been destroyed when the city fell.
And there was only one tour ever.
Probably not to her ever. It'd probably be in places like Schottengrad or that have been buried for so long. Which is why I was giving funds to have one built in Icehaven.
Mm.
You do know she went searching for. I guess this would be Arthan's knowledge that she, being Traum, said that she was going to search the ruins of Draconia, but that doesn't mean much.
Right, and as I recall, she said that it was destroyed and wanted me to find the Dreamer's Rock for a keystone of a new temple.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Was my remembering of it.
That is correct.
And Arthan will say this.
Hmm.
So I don't know if Aaron and Trom are powerful enough at this point with so few believers that they could offer a bead of divinity.
I see.
Whatever that is.
Right.
I mean, I kind of wish we had this information now when Mateo had gone off to go check out the gate or whatever he did.
I told you what I did.
What about like bead of divinity type stuff? Well, any of you particularly fond of some gods? You can start from there, you know.
Well, we could probably ask Vexalia how you get a bead of divinity.
That's a good idea.
Her tone of voice really conveyed the idea that she didn't think any of us that she met would be able to get one on our own.
Well, we're not on our own.
So, like, we need a god's help to get a bead of divinity.
I think it's
We might
from
be putting
gods.
the cart before the horse here because we don't know what this thing that we apparently want now is.
That's true.
As always, I can talk to Avandra real quick. Ask her some questions. Yes or no questions, but questions, you know.
Well, it seems like that's all we've got, so let's go with it.
Right, let's see what 3 questions do we have? Is like, do you know what a bead of divinity is? Can we have one? Maybe.
She does.
Of course, she. Yeah, if anybody does, she's gonna know what it is. So that would be kind of a waste of a question.
Valid. We need a bead of
Why don't we
divinity.
say?
Here,
Why don't we just ask? Is it possible for us to get a bead of divinity?
Oh, I'm sure it's possible if somebody like
Ask
Vox
her if
Machina got
any
it.
of us. Ask her if any of us are worthy of a bead of divinity.
absolutely. Okay. I have a few questions in mind. I'll
Okay.
take 11 minutes to ritual cast commune.
Okay. Over that 11 minutes, you would note that Baron gets up and leaves. Larion and a couple of the initiates come back, seemingly with a couple of bags of supplies that they drop off and then leave again. And then Celia would be done with her casting.
Hey. Are any of us, do you believe that any of us are worthy of a bead of divinity?
And this is commune.
Mm-hmm. 3 questions, yes or no answer. Don't know everything, so some things are like, they're not omniscient, but that's why I asked if she believes.
Yes.
Oh. Would you be able to give us information on how to obtain these beads? Through signs or whatever,
No.
Roger Dodger. All right, all right. Oh man, third question. Oh man. Anybody have a third question?
Yes.
I don't know.
I love that Chris and I
Bonded with
both
a
went there.
fucking genie.
Yeah.
I'm trying hard not to say that.
Alright. We're really in it now. Things are crazy. Depending on you. So many ways. Just putting that out there. Felt like you should know. Get some credit where it's due. I don't really have another question. Things going all right up there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Bye. Love you.
Okay, bye. I love you, I guess. Okay. I guess couldn't think of a third question that was good.
Okay, so it's just you guys and one of the monks that's in the little chamber at this point.
So Evandra does believe that there are those among us who are worthy of beads of divinity.
Ooh.
Obviously, I couldn't make her specify who. In my opinion, you are all. But if, throughout your life, you've been particularly devoted to an ideology or a god, I feel like now is the time to really think about and perhaps embody some of those beliefs. For the sake of a lot.
Hey, Mateo.
Mm-hmm.
Did Blackteeth ever find any of his friends?
Not to my knowledge.
Weren't there some rather zealous folks among them?
To my knowledge, he's still looking. He seems rather irritated that he can't find any of them either. I think there's supposed to be at least one on this plane, but I don't think he is having luck finding him either.
Hmm.
Right, and he's mentioned, or it's been mentioned that Aileros is somewhere.
Yes. Not even that. It's been mentioned that Aileros is supposedly on this continent because he has been recently, like, given warrants for his arrest in this area recently.
Yeah, he's in Wildmount doing crimes.
He's in Wildmount doing crimes against the Empire, supposedly, is the last that you've heard of him. In fact,
yeah,
in
yeah.
Rexentrim, if you guys were paying a lot of attention and passed a lot of investigation checks, you could have seen posters for Aileros hanging on the walls.
We don't know what he looks like, though.
No, you don't. That's why it's
True.
not like something you're looking for, but it is something if somebody was looking for something neat to do, that could have been something to do. Go freaking bounty hunting for Aileros.
Fucking
At least that's
hilarious.
probably what it would have been keyed in as, but it probably wouldn't have ended as such.
We would have all died.
Ian, I did have an idea with him, and
Okay.
you can shoot it down if you want. But a third form of the matron's unkindness, which is a big ass trammel.
Dude, I love it. I fucking love it.
Up to
Yeah,
you whether
Mateo
or not
would've-
he can actually do anything about that.
Mateo would say, I think Aileros is supposed to be on this continent, but Blackteeth can't find him.
Yeah, he was the one. The
I believe doing crime.
Vanguard guy. Oh.
Yeah, similar to my
Well-
order, but more altruistic about it. And
Well, I
not
mean,
so
depending
mercenary.
on whose definition, I think we're also doing a lot of crime.
Oh, we're doing a lot of crime.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Empire's definition of crime is like a friend we'd want to have, you know? That's my 2 cents.
I don't want to see what Lady Briarwood would say about something like this. If I recall,
What do you mean?
as I
She doesn't seem like
recall,
someone we incorporate on all this kind of conversation.
Yeah.
well, no, but didn't the Betrayer Gods also help put the Chained Oblivion away?
They did, but my issue with that is we ask information about something that's incredibly niche like this. Immediately, that one, the cult gets clued in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want that to happen. I feel like there's people we can trust with this information and people we absolutely would probably learn something from but shouldn't trust.
Delia, can you
You could go back to the library if you want.
think of anything from any of your religious texts that might have been coded language for a bead of divinity? I know your books are a little more metaphorical than mine.
Funny thing, I don't really read a lot of books. I can think real hard though. Would I know anything?
Roll a religion check, or let's see, I'd say religion, or just if you want it to be a luck-based thing, D100, more than a knowledge-based thing.
Celia's literally not a trained priest.
But
I
you
feel
know,
like
there could be some myth about like how someone did something and it was so beautiful it made the wild mother cry and they collected her tear, and that could be
You
a
know.
deed of divinity, you know?
I'd say,
Alright,
okay, you could also do a history check. If you don't want to,
Oh.
if you want it to be knowledge, you can do history or religion, and I will allow it. Or you can roll the D100 if you want to just have a lucky spot of inspiration maybe happen.
Oh man.
Unfortunately,
Seems
I'm not
like you
trained
guys
in
are floundering,
history
so I'll
or
give you some
religion.
extra little oomphs here.
Thank you.
I just have this idea in my head that Blue is like literally just using this like iron stone as like a worry stone at this point, and it's just like she's got it in her hands. She's
Yeah,
passing it
but
back
she's
and forth, and
pacing.
And she's pacing,
I can
and
so see that.
the best part is it's an Ioun stone, so if she wants, she can channel it, and it'll float around her head, and then she can just, like, actively shadow box the stone as it floats around her head.
Oh,
And I can just see Blue
Yeah.
doing that as a stress relief.
fun.
Oh yeah.
Although, if she hits it and actually hits it, it can do damage to it and destroy it. So
Oh,
that's just
She's not
something to be.
aiming for it.
Yeah, I know. She's just shadow boxing with it. And spinning in the circle and slapping at it with her tail and all the stuff that Blue would do as a monk. Just,
Try for
burning
the
some
D100.
calories.
Kind of
Be
just
stressed.
kind
You're
of
gonna
a
do the
blue
D100. Okay.
I'm gonna do the D100 because I feel like that'd be a bit more along my line of
Go for it.
real deep knowledge.
Do it.
Do it.
74.
Okay.
Hopefully that's okay. Hopefully it's high, not low.
Ian, over that long rest, could I have transcribed the Force Cage scroll into my spell book?
Sure.
Sweet.
Okay, so Celia, as you are sitting here thinking about this, there is a bit of you that remembers that there's a number of sites, religious sites, scattered across Exandria that are somewhat, I guess, similar to Krav and the Cinderess Sanctum. They are kind of joint places. So, like, Krav and the Cinderess Sanctum is a place devoted to both Melora and to the Allhammer, Moradin. There is one that you can recall of that is in the south of the Kryn Dynasty, very tippy south of the Kryn Dynasty. And it is a joint temple between the Wild Mother and Avandra. It's the only place that you know of that is a historied temple of Avandra that isn't like a way shrine or recently constructed. And it is about the only place you know of that's like that. I guess that would be the only thing that you would know. It is a place called White Dawn Lagoon.
White Dawn Lagoon.
Or it is in the south of White Dawn Lagoon. It is called the Menagerie. It is also known as the Court of Beasts or the Oasis.
Menagerie. Court of Beasts. Oasis.
and let's go there.
Yeah, because I know like there's like that one place. A chance maybe to really get a good commune in and perhaps learn more about these beads. Nothing that's not necessarily like metaphorical text or information like that, but if any of you are followers of Wild Mother and Avandra like me, then, that's a location.
Trom says that if when the temple is complete, a bead will be granted to our most devout followers, what she says.
Okay. Well, next up then is, so we have the option of going to the Menagerie or the Oasis or whatever you want to call it, and perhaps doing something there that could relate to these beads. And then also thinking about how we'd get the Dreamer's Stone from Lady Briarwood, considering everything about the Velvet Unicorn.
Am I remembering something wrong that like this is for if the thing gets released?
Yeah, no, that's for if the thing gets released for sure.
Okay. So I guess Blue will say that. And then say, so why don't we just stop it from getting released in the first place? It does seem a little more simple.
Well, yeah, that's, the goal.
Right.
Because there's 5 of them and we don't know which one they're really going to next, right?
And we don't know how many they need to break.
But we're planning for eventualities that we're now sitting here and letting happen if we continue to not do anything.
Hmm.
Well, then we got to figure out how to.
Ideally, we have someone force the trammels while we try to stop the twins.
Because I feel like if we don't stop the twins, there won't be a lot of time on our hands to forge these trammels and stop the chained oblivion before things go real south.
Right, but there's also not a lot of time to stop the twins right now.
Okay,
We know-
point us to the twins.
We know where they're likely going next.
1 location out of 5.
It's better than none.
You're right about that.
Fast now.
What'd you say?
Said we can get there fast now that Tori has his transportation.
Oh. It's a long ways away. I don't know how.
It's pretty risky to go somewhere I've never been before. And the farther away it is, like Celia said, it's
I gotta agree with Lou. We gotta do something. Otherwise, we're gonna plan and plan until it happens.
Well, it's too late.
He said just ask whenever we needed him. He
Who?
can transport us there.
Who?
Isn't he talking with one of the gods or
Black
something?
Teeth.
Blackteeth is in a meeting with Avandra right now.
So who knows when he'll actually be available?
I
Time
mean,
didn't
how
seem to
long?
work.
How long was it? How long was I gone?
A little
About a
over a
week?
week.
A week. I was in the tapestry with Avandra for maybe 20 minutes. In and
Hmm.
out.
Boy.
Well, all right.
So it could be a month before they're done talking.
You're right. We can't
Oh.
sit around here that long.
So,
We just can't rely on Blackteeth getting us where we need to be.
So do we want to try for the lagoon and then go to the only thing I'm worried about with us going to the what we where we know the chain is if the twins don't know it's a spot and they're scrying on us and see it.
Oh.
I can always try to scry yet again and hope I hit them at a lucky time. Where perhaps they're talking about their plans. I hit them at an unlucky time last time, but ugh, I mean, I can always try that.
It is morning now. You're probably a little safer.
Ugh.
I think
Well,
at
I
a certain
hope.
point we're just gonna have to pick one of our many options.
And if nothing else, we can at
And
least
go.
see if there's any potential guards around the chain and perhaps inform them, like, hey, something might happen. You know what I mean? So I feel like either way, we might come out as a win if we choose a location and go. So I think Blue's right, and we have to take action in some form before things pass us by and get bad. I have to pee so bad. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh my god.
But we know where one is, and we assume Vexalia has the other one squared away. And
3.
that leaves 3 they could go to. And we have to assume they can spy on us the way we spy on them.
Alright, I'm back.
Hmm.
Well, choose an action, any action. Let's do something, guys.
I don't exactly want to risk teleporting to an island from this distance. The math is it's based on angles, so this far away we could be very, very far off.
That would not be good.
If we go south to Nicodranus somehow, go across to the White Dawn Lagoon, where is the kind of the shared sanctum between Avandra and the Wild Mother, we'd be a lot closer to Boali than here from Rexentrum. Or if we don't even want to risk teleporting, we could probably find a fast way from White Dawn Lagoon to Boali, because it's a lot closer than Rexentrum.
Where's Bruwali?
I don't know how to. Oh, it's there.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yeah. And White Dawn Lagoon is
Closer.
here. Nicodranus is here. So, even if we had to take a ship of some sort, we'd be there pretty quickly from White Dawn Lagoon. And I feel like they'd be
safer
pretty.
to transport us to Nicodranus?
Have we been there?
Dranus? I don't think so. Have we?
We've been
Not
to Port
since
Damali.
A very long time ago, maybe.
Remember being there.
I don't
Where
think
did we-
you
did
guys
we
ever
find the-
visited there, actually.
No,
Did we
I don't think
find-
have. Let's go there. Somewhere new. Different.
I
Did
mean,
we find them?
I think I was on my way to Nicodranus when I met a few of you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the adventure started at the gate just north of Nicodranus, so a large
Right.
portion of you were en route
Probably
to
passed
near
through
from.
there or something. Yeah.
Passed through there. Smuggled the goods from a ship onto the cart and then made my way to Gates of Ayun. What about getting a hold of Blackjack, one of those airships? How that would be fast.
Yeah.
They're kind of in the middle of something, aren't they?
And going over land.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
They're kind of in the middle of something, aren't they?
No, I haven't been paying attention. That was personal, not no. That's always penance. She has no clue.
How close could we get to Nicodranus? Say, let's just kind of keep that as like a maybe place. How close could we get to the area around Nicodranus?
I don't know. Tori, ever been to Trust Involved?
I think we went back through there once
Circle.
after I joined the party, didn't we?
You were with us at that time?
Yeah. Yes, you have, I think, been through there, because I think Tori has met the lanternfish. And that's where he is from, is Trostenwald.
Right. That's where we started out.
It's a way we could get to maybe Trostenwald and go from there, because I mean, we could cut across there and attempt to reach White Dawn Lagoon. From there, we could go down to Nicodranus, perhaps take a boat to the White Dawn Lagoon.
The lanternfish is very powerful and may be able to help us in some way.
Lanternfish is kind of on the opposite side of a kind of war with us-ish, kind of.
I think he plays his odds. I'm not sure he picks sides unless,
He's with Mal right now, as in, like, I think they had like some sort of political marriage, and then they're flying their flag over with the near Zadash, where they're having.
All I'm saying is, if he thinks it's in his best interest to help us, that won't matter. He's that kind of guy.
Does Alyssa have any of her ships from the Navy she has down in Nicodranus that could help us out, or?
Oh.
I sent all of our ships from Port Damali to Ice Haven. So all of our armies.
Cobalt Soul have a transportation circle at the library? And would there be a transportation circle in Nicodramus?
Are you asking
We'd have to-
me?
In general. Asking the party.
Well, yeah,
You-
there's
do we
likely a
know?
circle
You would
there,
know
but we
that
need
there
to
are
know
definitely teleportation circles within the library, the Cobalt Reserve here.
A Cobalt Soul. Okay. Well,
So we
is
would
there a way
know
to
where
find
they
out
go?
if there is?
Yeah. I guess Blue would probably be aware of this, but seeing as Sarah's not here, I'll just say that she'll tell you that the teleportation circles within that branch go to other Cobalt branches, one in Zadash, one in Port Damali, and then one in Tal'Doria and one in Vasselheim. So the one in Tal'Doria
Where's
likely goes to Iman or to Western, and Vasselheim is a place that you have not visited that is in the continent very much farther to the west called Ilisaria.
And you said there was one in Port Damali?
Yes, there is one in Port Damali, and there is also one in Zadash.
And where is the dash?
Just south of us.
Dash is also a
Southwest.
war zone.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't
Well,
want to go
Port
there.
Damali. Port Damali is closer than any place that we can get by foot right now. If we could take that teleportation circle to Port Damali and then get a ship and go south.
Yeah.
Do we have to know the rune to Port Damali, or can we take or
If
is
you
it
went
all
into
encompassed?
if you use the teleportation circle, if you use the correct one, it would just take you to Port Damali. It's like a
Oh,
one-way
yeah, dude.
travel. It is linked to another circle in Port Damali.
Okay.
It's like, so
Magic
if you jump
subway
through
tunnel.
that circle, you go to Port Damali. If somebody in Port Damali jumps through that circle, they come to Rexentrum.
Mhm.
Okay. Good.
Magical subway tunnel.
I dig it.
It's basically just straight up Valheim portal linkage.
Yeah.
This one has the right runes, and it links to that one because they have the same runes. So it's just a
Mhm.
literal bending of space-time in this one hole that we have deemed the portal.
Could do that then.
Yeah. So I'd love
Isn't
to.
anywhere we could, and faster than anything we could do on foot.
True.
Go ahead.
I'd love.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I'd love to find a way to the White Dawn Lagoon too, because I feel like probably they could help us in some way.
And where
Hey,
is
last-
that?
Oh, it's. I mean, that's what we were talking about. It's in the very south of the Kryn Dynasty. That's where I was talking about. Going to White
It's on
Dawn
that
Lagoon.
island, right?
No,
I
but it's
am back.
White Dawn Lagoon to Bwali would be a short distance compared to Rexentrum to Bwali, so therefore less risk. But I'm thinking it'd be a really good idea to go there.
What
I
are
mean-
we doing?
We don't
What are-
know.
We're discussing
Are
options.
we still talking about this?
Yes.
We were thinking about taking the
Teleportation circle.
Teleportation circle to
Station
Port
circle to-
Damali.
Okay, so if we take the teleportation circle to Port Damali, can we get your airship friend to take us anywhere? Can we get? Do we just have to hire a boat down there? Should we just go ahead and go down there and see what
Taking
our
the
options are?
Taking the teleportation circle to Port Damali still gets us faster and closer to even White Dawn Lagoon.
Mhm. Last time we came across a Wild Mother combo temple, they helped us out a lot. And so I'm thinking if we go to Wild Mother combo temple plus Avandra, they'd help us a ton. And then from there we can go to Bwali. So I think it's a win-win. Preferably.
Celia
Where's
just
this
loves-
teleportation circle that we're banking on?
The
Cobalt
current one,
Soul.
there is one in the It's to
The
Port
Cobalt
Damali,
Reserve.
but it is in the Cobalt Reserve.
Which
And so
it
we
has
want to
chain golems now.
go back in
Mhm.
there on hope and a prayer that it's still intact.
Yeah. If it's not,
Why
we'll
didn't-
do
Blue
something
was
else.
also given the command word to the golems, so theoretically she could get the golems to not attack you guys.
Well, yes, but hear me out. If the circle were still active, would not people that also knew how to deactivate the golems know it? Would we not have found anything useful if people could still get in there using a teleportation circle?
Hmm.
Just a thought.
Enough,
won't-
but I mean, it wouldn't take much to look.
Yeah. At least see if it's still active. And at least, in Port Damali, they didn't, ban the Cobalt Soul. So maybe we'll find some allies there. Too.
Hell, why don't we just ask one of the monks here if they know?
If
You have a
circle
point.
still works. You mean?
Yeah, just ask, hey, is the teleportation to Port Damali still intact?
There you go.
Ask Larian whenever she comes in or whatever.
Yeah.
Asking these people to wait around anymore.
There's that monk that Blue was talking to, right?
Yeah.
Is she still there?
Yeah, that monk hasn't left.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. I
glance
didn't
over
realize
to
that
her.
she was still there.
Yeah. Do you happen to know if the teleportation circle to Port Damali is still intact to use in the
I,
building of the
I have
reserve
not
here?
been into the reserve since barred entry. I would not know the condition of any of the infrastructures within. Although if
What
they
would your-
have damaged it, I would assume that they know the price they will have to reimburse in order to recreate such a costly endeavor. I would not put it past the Empire to do such damages, but you never know.
Visit allstate.com or click
Fair
to get
enough.
a quote. Find out how much you can save today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's it.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you pay. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty
Well,
Insurance.
shall we go to the reserve and see if the circle is available for use?
Yep.
And then we could start heading south if it's not.
There we go.
Never been described as little, but I do like big profits. We're going to be coming to you and bringing you
So at about maybe 10:30, after all this discussion, you guys are ready to go.
We'll be starting this Thursday, January 28th. Follow and listen on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
One thing we're good
Alright.
at is debating.
So you guys would
We weren't even debating.
We're planning.
leave the little alcove
Well,
here
talking,
through the
let's put it that way.
curtain of fireballs and make your way through the city to the Cobalt Reserve, where you would see it sitting very dormant and forlorn, looking like an abandoned asylum almost, with all its boarded windows and everything. I assume you take the sewer entrance again?
Yeah.
Okay. And through the sewer entrance you go, sneaking in through the small trapdoor. I assume you let Blue go first to take the lead with the chain golems.
Yes. Hey, on the On the way through, like when we get to where she left that note, she's gonna snatch that back before anybody else can see it.
Okay. So you would all see Blue snatch a small piece of stained paper off the ground at some point in the travel.
Oh no, it's pinned to the wall with a dart.
Oh yeah, then even better. It's just pinned to the wall with a little dart that you would recognize
Right,
as Blue's dart.
right above the ladder.
Yeah, so as you guys enter in, she pulls that out, and the chain golems start encroaching, and I assume Blue immediately just calls out the command word.
Mm-hmm.
And the two down here at least, fall silent into a state of almost dormant repose where they just sit idly.
Say the command word again to make them go back, or?
I would
Say that
assume
again.
so. I'm gonna not test that while we're in here, but I would
Oh, yeah.
assume so.
I mean, just definitely reactivate them before we leave.
She just like glares at everybody. I don't think this is a me thing. I think this is an anybody thing.
Okay. So knowing the layout of these places, Blue would immediately take you upstairs to one of the halls that you would, I guess, recognize as being above one of the singular study chambers, and off of this hall is 4 doors that lead off, each, you would assume, to a teleportation circle, and above each door you would actually see written is a singular sign with the location. Port Damali, Trostenwald, Imon, and Vasselheim.
I don't know what it is we're looking for, so.
If only
Somebody
I
else
knew
can
all of those
explain
out of
here.
character things, I would totally take us to Vasselheim instead.
I know, right? That'd be a great place to get some beads of divinity.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's go, but no. Whatever.
All right,
Yeah, let's
so
go to the Port Damali room.
Okay, yeah, you guys go inside, and you would see the teleportation circle is indeed intact.
Hey.
Sleight of hand.
Flat hand.
What's he doing?
11.
No.
I
trying to
see
steal
what
some
he's
fireball
doing.
beads.
I think if you pluck one of those beads, it activates. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Wouldn't
Right.
grab one. We're all gonna die. TPK, baby.
Oh no.
Place would be then called the Ground Zero.
Um. Well,
Then we'll peek in the other rooms and see if those teleportation circles are also intact, just for reference.
They are indeed. At least as
They're
far
all
as you can
intact.
tell.
all right.
I
Well, I
mean,
can.
They could have
I
been
can get us
tampered with,
through
I
this.
guess, if you're really paranoid.
Yeah, you know what, Ian? I am a little paranoid, actually. You say it's intact, but I want to roll an Arcana to make sure it hasn't been sabotaged
Okay,
Mm.
go
in
ahead and
some
roll.
manner.
Hey, while he's doing that, can Blue go look for a book, and I'll message you.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
So with 17, I would say these do not look tampered with. They definitely look dusty, grimy, probably in need of some serious maintenance, but they will probably function.
Okay.
All good.
Well, somebody should reactivate those golems before we go.
All right, I'll go do that. I'm pretty quick when it's dim light.
You could probably just shout at them from the level
Yeah,
above.
that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah,
Go
so
lab.
We'll go and Reactivate golems.
Arthan runs out into the main hall, yells Vissen, comes running back in, and you all jump through the now active teleportation circle. Also, Blue would join you at some point after getting the book that she is grabbing.
Yeah. Do you want like investigation?
Obviously, we would have waited for Blue.
Oh yeah.
No, just fucking leave me here. It's fine.
And she's pretty fast too, so.
She'd be pretty happy if this is where she dies. It's fine.
You could just live in here as a hermit. You know, the command word and everything.
Yeah, she can just turn off the
Anybody
creatures.
And turn them on at will.
They are my pets now.
These are my angry chain guard dogs.
I've named them Sebastian and Ferdinand.
There you go.
Well, what about the other two? What'd you name them?
Smish and Smash.
Good.
All out of creativity, I see.
Wait, no, which one hit me? I'm gonna name that one Asshole. Wait, no,
That would
that's
have
what I
been
named,
one of the ones
that's what I named my
downstairs.
horse. That's what I named my horse. I can't name my golem that. Though I guess to be fair, the horse was Bitey Asshole.
Yeah, Bitey Asshole. This one would be
Figured Blue
be
had
Asshole.
like 3 or 4 horses
Smashy
right now,
asshole.
all named Asshole.
Oh yeah, they were.
Like Geralt naming all of his horses Roach.
No, Roach is immortal
Yeah.
too. Don't worry about it.
So yeah, we
Fly.
Yeah, you guys
Port.
fly.
to the port.
Port.
And you would, appear within the Cobalt Reserve in Port Damali, a city that you would recognize. This is the place that you both, first met Inma and then hired the Order of Wardens. After dealing with the Gwarden incident and buying some artifacts and losing out on the sword that you now actually have possession of anyway.
Yep, I've never been here.
As you arrive, the clerk here is very stunned and looks very taken aback and pushes his glasses up and inspects the circle that you've stepped out of. Unlike the other one, this is a room filled with circles, small room with probably about 4 or 5 circles scattered around a singular, almost looks like a kiosk of some kind that has enough room for a singular person and a small little desk. And you would see the after a number of seconds of inspection, this what looks to be half-elven figure leans back. I was under the impression that they had no matter. Welcome to the Cobalt Reserve within Port Tamale. Is there anything that I could do for you whilst you are here on your visit, or are you simply using our fine establishment as a way of escaping the troubles to the north? Are you refugees?
No, we're just
Ye-
skipping
yes.
the overland step of our journey.
Very well. This is a shall we say, a select grouping of people are supposing to be knowing about and using of this circle, but in this event, I suppose I could overlook it. Just next time, it would be nice to be informed of such travels. And it's nice to
We have
be-
your name?
My name is Annika.
Is there any faster way than hiring a boat to get to Bwali from here?
Buying a boat? Hiring one tends to involve agendas and other people's whims. Buying one, though, you can do whatever the fuck you'd like. Oh, sorry, excuse my language. You are customers.
No, you're good.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, actually,
Well,
I
this one
think
we're
that
not
kind of
saying that.
endeared you to us that way.
Well, where could we go buy one then?
If
I
we
would
buy a
assume
boat, we
the
have to
docks.
hire a crew anyway.
That's very
Mm.
true.
Uh,
We should, but
that-
now I'm not helping with boat things.
Like,
So.
unless it's a self-driving boat.
Is
Well,
that a
that would be
thing?
a
those aren't
miracle, wouldn't
invented.
it?
Yeah, I thought so.
Upper
Annika.
Duke were by the sea, they'd have them, trust me.
Let's go there.
She'll genuinely laugh as you guys leave
Wait,
the teleportation. Oh, you're not gonna
Annika.
leave? Yes.
Real quick. You know,
Real quick.
fast transportation to Bwali, stellar. But also, is there fast transportation to the White Dawn Lagoon from here? You know, slight different. You know,
Again,
maybe.
the fastest route would be the boat from here.
Okay.
If you're really pressing for it, you may try to contact a member of the Clovis Concord. They're known to maybe host individual towers. They are individuals of quite powerful reputations, shall we say, and they tend to hold and host their own private sort of teleportation vessels, similar to what we do as an institute. Maybe perhaps knowing someone of that nature might get you further quicker, but you can never trust those folk, and they often ask for favors. At least that's what I hear.
I'm gonna put my hand on with their shoulder and say, I'm gonna be real with you. I am so done talking to powerful figures. I think we're gonna buy a boat.
Have fun.
Maybe
Thank
don't tell
you.
strangers our plans, but okay.
That's like Celia's whole deal, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we literally asked how to get transportation to the top secret island. So, I mean, what else I could
In the
do?
Cobalt Reserve, Blue Trust.
Wally is not a top secret place.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just gonna like pat their cheek and leave.
They look
Okay.
a little stunned and just watch you guys leave and go back to their book.
Did you just threaten that man? Vaguely?
I mean, everything is a vague threat if you really think into it and read into it, but it was fine. We're friends. They get me.
Arthen will say,
I don't
thank
think
you, Annika.
Okay.
She'll nod. Hey, you're very welcome.
Amazing.
I think I trust Annika with my life.
I made it just for you.
Don't I feel special?
Alright, so we're gonna buy a boat?
We'll figure something out.
Get down there and do it.
Ice Haven.
I'll go fishing while you guys talk a lot.
I'm going with youth. Fuck.
I am a teenager. I'm getting annoyed.
Oh, yeah, valid.
I don't think I've ever heard a squirt be annoyed before.
I'm
That's why
getting
he
more
goes fishing.
hormonal every day.
Oh my god.
That's great.
That's why he goes fishing, so he can chill out.
Yes.
What have we done to the child?
I love it.
Not a child.
We didn't do anything.
No. Product of his environment, for sure, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you all
blame-
pretty
I blame
close
the
to youth's
Empire.
age?
Yeah. Blue's 24.
I think that Arthen and Youth are the two youngest.
How old is Arsene
Yeah.
again? 19?
19?
Jeez.
Alright. Teenage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
He's
had
a young boy.
You
How
do
old
not
is
act
you?
like it. 17.
Holy moly!
Well, I mean, in people years.
Yeah, we
People-
broke
That's
it.
not
Jeez.
in, in
God,
people years.
I'm like 21.
Yeah.
Legally drink.
So, yeah,
oh my
Arthen
god,
and
the
Youth are the
fate of the
two.
world rests on the shoulders of a bunch of
Babies.
fucking
But Arthen
teenagers.
does not act like it.
How
I
old
mean,
is
Mateo's
Blue?
not a teenager.
24?
Blue, yeah.
How old's Mateo?
How old?
Mateo's 28.
Mateo's
Let's
Just a
just-
bunch of youngsters.
I
Let's
think of
just say-
everyone who's
Tori is temporally the oldest, but relative to how long he lives, he's the youngest.
How old are
How
you
old is
by-
Tori? By human
Tori's
years.
30.
Baby.
Tori's 33 in human years,
Oh,
Oh
okay.
dang, he's
Oh my
young.
god,
But-
he's a baby.
but in elf years, that's baby.
He's
Baby.
baby.
But
Yeah.
still,
Very true.
physically, he's still.
Because like adulthood is, or you know,
He's-
socially is like 100.
Their body like grows and ages at the same rate.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they just continue to live a lot longer after they've reached
Yeah.
full adulthood.
It's just
Yeah.
like when they hit 17, that lasts until they're about 200.
Yeah, and it's stupid and not fair.
I would not want to live that long.
I don't think I would
Holy
either,
I
but at
thought
the
I
same
was
time, I think
26.
living as 17 for a very long time would be kind of ridiculous and fun.
A little
Dumb.
annoying.
Because I did a
Oh
lot
my
of things
God.
that, like, you shouldn't survive things that you do when you're 17, but you're just fine when you do it when you're 17.
Yeah.
Your mother's
Yeah,
listening.
exactly.
You just bounce right back. You're made of rubber. That's all I'm saying. Every
I
17-year-old is
don't
made
think
of rubber.
that's true.
Ian
Okay.
never made bad decisions.
No,
Right.
I never.
All right. Never.
Not once.
No.
Not once.
Okay, so you guys
Yeah,
head
and-
down to the docks, and you can see there are indeed a number of ships for sale. Some larger, some smaller. There are also, as Tori has suggested, a number of ships available to rent. You do not see any airships
take a
here
small
in
one, we
Port
don't-
Tamale, which is sad.
Let's get the fastest.
Sorry, I thought out of character. I thought of a great scheme.
Hmm.
Good job.
We host a boat race from here to Bawali.
That's a brilliant scheme. Oh my god. I'll be right back. I need another beverage.
Get it.
What if we're on the slowest boat though?
We still get there faster than the normal boat.
Well, yeah, it
That's
doesn't
true.
matter what boat we're on, but what matters is that there are a ton of other boats, and no one knows what boat we're on.
Or we're all on different boats.
True.
Or we're all on different boats, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like there's going to be a week of difference between when boats arrive, unless somebody like sinks.
Right.
True,
Some of
true.
us could run
No
into
big
different
deal.
kinds of trouble.
Okay, so are we buying a boat, renting a boat? If we buy a boat, what do we do with it afterwards?
Sell it.
And it's Ice Haven.
Use boats.
Or sell it.
I mean, we could just pay someone and say, "Hey, take us to that island," and then fuck off once we get there. I think it would be pretty easy to get someone to do that.
Yep.
Island
Go down
first.
there and start asking.
Island first. White Dawn
Maybe-
Lagoon second.
Maybe, hang on. And Tori turns to Mateo. Maybe we don't officially hire a boat. Can you find one that maybe has a reason to perhaps file false
I am returning.
trip plans and would have a reason to maybe
that's
not put us on their logs?
oh. Mateo's gonna look down there. I could find you. Throw a fucking stone at any of those boats down there at the dock, and
Want
They'll
one
do
where
whatever
that's
you want.
standard and not the one that we have to pay extra for it.
Is there a clasp
Everything your clothes go through, there's Tide Hygienic Clean.
yeah.
A
Present?
clasp office here
Thank you.
And invisible dirt.
Yes.
in Port Tamale. They would have a very small operation in Port Tamale. The majority of the operation here is either the Syndicate or the Myriad. Those are the two main criminal operations. Mostly in Wildmont, in fact. Clasp doesn't have much on this continent going on, which might be one of the
Right,
reasons you
right.
came over here.
Oh, how rude!
Well, I mean,
I'm
help set
sorry,
it up and stuff like that.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I just watched a doe in my front yard kick another one in the butt. Rude.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I've actually just I realized that you sent me a copy of the Tal'Dorei campaign guide, and now I'm reading about the class, and realize, yeah, I'm doing this all wrong. Well, a little bit wrong.
Yeah, not all wrong, but just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out they've got a lot more kinship than I originally thought. So, I guess I'll go to the class, find the class headquarters here, as small as they are, and inquire about a boat.
The clasp would tell you they only have the only operation they run as far as boats is a river operation that they run out of all the way up to Sirius Lake. They actually use the rumors of the lake being haunted to smuggle things in and out of Wildmont itself. But it is mostly a branch operation that they operate with the Myriad out of Eurosa.
Working with Myriad? Wow. Okay.
It's a very, very quiet hush-hush place. And there's a reason this one is so small, and it is because it's not very successful. They are kind of downtrodden and taken advantage of by their deal with the Myriad, basically barely able to scrape ends meet. The place that you go into is like this small, maybe 12-foot by 10-foot building with about 4 bunk beds against the back wall, a small little fire pit, and the entire floor is earthen. And it is near the exterior wall of the city. But yeah, I guess if you are inquiring around the docks, there are some ships for sale. In fact, there are 5 ships that you would see that are currently for sale. There is the Celebration, which is a larger, almost galleon-style ship. There is Right Cursed, which is a small little sloop that possibly could be crewed by even your group of people, if you guys were adept sailors or with some small amount of coaching. There is the Grace, which is a very ornate, almost grandiose style ship, almost like Ship of the Line or a warship style thing that's just too large. You can see it has many like gunnels, portholes for siege weaponry to fire off, many decks. Probably would take upwards of 60 people to crew this thing successfully. There is the Denbig Castle, which is actually a ship. Unlike the rest of them, this ship has a sail as well as 2 short smokestacks, and it runs both on wind as well as on coal. It has 2 coal burners underneath. It is a dwarven ship, and the entire, I would say, front third of the thing is capped in what looks to be bronze. And it is touted as both a great ship for the south in the winds, but a really good ship for in the north when there are no winds and you're trying to push through the ice. And then there is the last ship that you find that would be for sale is a ship called Bagshots, which is this ramshackle-looking, single-masted, just... You're not even sure if it is a classification of ship. It looks like it doesn't have a below deck. It looks like it is a single deck, like maybe 30 foot long with a 20-foot tall mast. It's a glorified raft with a keel, basically.
Yeah, I know nothing about ships. I don't know if this is something in your wheelhouse, Tori?
No.
Okay.
Hey,
Is that
probably.
Yeah,
is
does
that
he
a
really need
fantasy
a ship,
microaggression right there? I think that might have been
Don't.
a fantasy microaggression.
No.
People don't terribly have use for boats. You know?
Okay.
You have a point.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure, so that's why I asked.
You know, Tori, where do your people live?
Under the sea. Sorry.
Like
In
whereabouts?
the fantasy.
Are they nearby to Bwali or that little archipelago there? Or?
I don't really know if Ian and I ever decided. It'd be up to him.
That would be up to you, man. You can choose wherever, but
Hey, don't
somewhere in
turn
the
this
ocean.
back around on me.
Somewhere in the ocean.
Pick your favorite ocean.
Oh.
Okay.
They're from
Why
over
is it
here
Deep
in
Row
this
Reef?
lake. That's where all of his people come from, in Drow Lake. That's why he hates all the Drow.
Mm. They keep polluting his damn lake.
I know it would make sense for you to be from the southern area, somewhere in the Swavane Islands.
Yeah.
Dark Toe is like the pirate island home. So if you were dealing with pirates, that would be a thing. Otherwise, anywhere down in there, especially if they're sea-dwelling folk, they could live in one of the reefs.
Yeah.
Choose a reef.
Reef.
Run right next door to Bawali. You just didn't want to tell us.
Drags Hollow Reef.
Or just deep Lucidian Ocean. Somewhere way to the south of this area, even. You know, you could be from... Like, this is the trade route that goes to Marquette.
Marquette?
Yeah.
Mm.
And then these all go to Illisaria. All these ones off of Taldore to the left. Those go to Illisaria way to the east. Including this one, which I think goes all the way to the southern tip of Illisaria, which is the largest continent in Exandria.
Yeah.
You could be from, like, somewhere over there, too. Somewhere in the... What is it called? The Osmit Sea. Slumber Reef. Or you just make it up. Don't really matter right now. Unless you want it to matter right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the article for the Slovene Islands on the Crit Roll Wiki.
Yeah.
Be a Ravager stabby stabber.
It's a very volcanic area. Rumblecusp has an active volcano. Bawali has an active volcano. I don't know if Udrik Hazel does or not.
There's a Temple of the False Serpent.
Dark
Like the
Toe is
fake
like
one.
a pirate home surrounded by reef that you have to know the specific route in to get to.
Mm.
But yeah, I guess if you look over the boats, Celebration would run you 20,000 gold. Right Cursed would run you 12,000 gold. The Grace would run you 35,000 gold. The Den Big Castle would run you 28,000 gold, and Bag Shots would run you 6,000 gold.
I personally like the Dwarven one just because it's multi-use, I guess you could say. Good for
I'm just
anywhere we
more,
want to go.
I'm a little more concerned about speed than I am about, oomph.
Price.
Fair enough.
The fastest one for you guys would either be the bag shots, the really ramshackle boat, because you'd be able to successfully crew it, or right cursed. Because you're able to, without, I guess that would be without employing anybody. Those would be the two boats that you as a group would be able to successfully crew and use without being overwhelmed. They don't take too much knowledge. There's only a single mast on either of those. They're basically, one of them is basically a 2-story longboat. That would be the right cursed, and the other one is basically a short version of a longship, almost like a keel boat, I guess is a good way of putting it. A larger keel boat with a mast.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the right cursed.
Knowing
Those
our
two.
luck, anything with cursed in the name is going to be good for us. You know what I mean? Like,
That's sort of why I like it.
2 negatives equal a positive.
Plus, it doesn't
maybe-
look like it'll sink underneath us.
Yes.
Yeah.
One,
I mean, if we buy it, we could also rename it if we really wanted to, or just call ourselves the right curse since we haven't have a group name yet.
Yeah, I think that is an appropriate name.
you know, I don't think we've ever really thought about that. Right, Cursed? Does sound like a good name for us.
Yeah.
Just considering.
With the RCs.
Let's buy that boat.
The RCs, the Royal Colas.
So we're just gonna buy this boat outright.
It sounds like it.
We'll find out if we can.
It's 12,000 gold.
12,000?
It's just sitting on the shore list. Like there is, this place is such a large place that there are just almost like real estate signs that would be outside of houses. And today, that there are just signs sitting outside of 5 boats that are the closest to the shore that it say the name of the ship, the price of the ship, and where to buy it from. And all of them list that it should be bought from the dockmaster, which makes you think that they have all recently or at some point been repossessed by some poor owner that could not afford the payments, or died at sea and these were brought in and sold as repossessed ships by some other person that didn't want to manage a fleet.
Putting it out there, 12,000 gold, small potatoes.
Or,
I
you
can
know,
afford
just
that.
a pirate killed somebody and took the ship in and sold it and just left it here. You never know.
I'm
It's not
fine
like
with the right
I haven't
curse.
rolled history for all of these. I swear.
How could
Oops. Well, Blue's off to go. Blue went and bought a boat.
Well, that's 12. Wow.
I feel like we'd still be talking about it if she hadn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He will hold out a hand and say, 12,000 gold for the right guest. I assume you have a crew available. Not that that's anything that I need to worry about if the ship is sold.
Probably. We graduated from rowing on a river.
We did
Manning a
fine.
boat.
Let's see.
Yeah, I guess you're
Proud
pretty
of
good on
Blue.
the boats.
You know
Well, then,
what?
12,000 gold in the boat's yours. I'll gladly hand over all legal documentation pertaining to the ownership of said vessel. He'll take the coin and hand over a couple of documents. One looks very old and salt-stained. 2 of them look a little bit newer and freshly drafted. Kind of rolls them all up, shoves them into what looks to be a very nice leather map case, passes them to Blue. Very well then. You are now the proud owner of a new vessel. Congratulations.
There you go, Ian. I sent you some stuff. What do you think about that?
Everyone, I think this is Blue's first time willingly doing anything having to do with a boat/ship.
I vote her captain.
In Blue,
Oh, I love
this is
it,
a
dude.
big development for you. I'm proud of you. No, it's like a good thing. Yeah. Can we call you captain?
Can I be your first mate?
I trust you to be first mate.
I think it's hilarious that Blue has. This is the biggest character growth I've ever seen in a character. She went from hating boats to owning one.
Aye, Captain. We'll get on the boat. Whatever you say, Captain. My captain.
Then my captain.
Yeah.
Character growth right there.
No. Blue's first mate is the prefect. Duh.
No. Prefect's not with us.
Gross.
Hate that prefect. Hate her.
It's a little out of character joke for you.
Okay, so you guys get on the boat. What is the plan? About maybe noon today.
All right. Who knows how to drive a boat?
Hey, we did okay with the river running, but this is beyond my scope of knowledge.
What is that under for a skill, Ian?
That would be under vehicles, and that would be waterborne.
How do you know if you're good at vehicles?
It's a
I know
skill
I'm
that you
not.
can choose to be proficient in. Some classes get it.
Or backgrounds.
For example,
Mm.
like fighters or fighter, I think gets a vehicle proficiency that's either land or mount proficiency.
I think they get land. Yeah.
You know the first time that we sailed out to Ice Haven?
Yeah.
Mateo was very handy on the boat and did make a point to learn what he could while we were on that boat. So I'd imagine Mateo knows what he's doing.
Good.
Mateo, what's the job where the people like pull the ropes? Because I want to do that.
We're all gonna have to do things. We're kind of a small crew.
Well, somebody's got to be in charge of the wheel.
That's Blue.
Oh. Can I help?
Okay, so Blue's driving.
Blue's driving.
Mateo's just gonna take like a deep breath and look up into the air and start trying to think and recall everything and just I guess slowly start ordering people around to do stuff.
Blue will be the pilot.
I want to do whatever the people do when they like tug on ropes.
I'll pull
We're
up the
all gonna be
anchor.
tugging on
I know we
ropes.
need to do that. So I'm going to get busy
Yeah.
pulling up the anchor.
Again, we're all going to be doing everything.
All right,
I'm just gonna
Mateo, do
start
we
doing it.
have the
I-
supplies we need for the ship as well?
Oh, we probably do need supplies
We
since we're
need
going to be
to
at
get
sea.
supplies.
I mean, I'm sure we're fine on food and everything because we're usually fine on that, but
What else do we need?
Okay, so Blue is captain. Who's first mate? Is that Celia?
No. I mean, I think that Youth wanted to be first mate.
Yeah, I wanted to be first.
Youth wants
I
to be
don't-
first mate.
think that a rank structure really matters.
not
No.
really.
Yeah, no.
If anything,
wanna
I would
be-
think
This
Mateo's
is
the
more
bosun.
for actual hazards checks, according to this rule
Mm.
thing that I just looked up. That is the UA for ships at sea.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Can
so
I be,
who
like-
wants to be the bosun? So captain
I
is
think that
the intelligence water vehicles check. They're the guy driving. First mate
Uh-huh.
helps to do any sort of negotiations, and their main check is charisma intimidation. Bosun is going to be the carpenter, basically, and they're going to be making strength carpenter tools checks. So if somebody wants
That
to be
ain't
the
me.
bosun.
I can do
I'm
bosun.
not strong.
I know that Youth wants to be the first mate, but that feels like a Mateo role.
I could probably be the navigator.
What is your
I do it to stay
charisma?
close to Blue, so you know.
It's a small
I'll
ship.
be the guy that goes, the navigator that goes onto climbs the crow's nest.
Mateo,
I'm really
what's
good at-
More like
yeah.
a that's the
charisma?
spotter. More
Yeah,
like
Mateo, you want to be the first mate?
Sure,
Mateo.
yeah.
Quartermaster
What
would
is-
be a wisdom nature check.
Master, that seems
There's a
like
maybe
quartermaster,
maybe
like-
that should be
that
Volka.
should be Youth. Yeah.
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 That should be Youth.
Wisdom and nature is my strength.
Handing,
So.
handing
it's
out
also
snacks from the sack
foods.
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
me.
totally Youth.
That's me.
Is there
will
one?
I'll be fixing
There is
dinner,
one that is
giving you food.
surgeon, which I assume is just Celia outright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really good at medicine.
And then there is cook.
I can
I
cook
guess I'll
too.
be cook. What is the checks for the
That is just a constitution check, or if you are proficient with cook's utensils.
well,
These are for environmental hazards.
And am I to assume the ship is
I'm good
just
with
the ship? There's
knives.
nothing on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it is just a
We're
ship.
gonna eat a lot of meat. We need good knives.
Is there like a barely below deck where we sleep, or is it like a just flat?
There is a somewhat like squatted section below deck. It's about maybe 5'4", so some of you are having to duck to get underneath there to be comfortable. But there is a small under deck that has
Storage.
storage and a number of hammocks kind of interspersed if you would like to sleep if there are storms and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while everyone's kind of getting on boat and looking around, Mateo's gonna take money out of the first bank of Celia and go get all the supplies the ship will need.
First
Arthem will
thing-
go and help. Arthem will go and help Mateo with at least porting things over.
Yeah, whatever the first bank of Zidel can afford, with it for like, I don't know, food, whatever we need. I got it.
Okay, so
I'll
as you guys set out
take-
for sea, can each of you roll me your associated check? So for Blue, that's going to be intelligence and water vehicles, if she has proficiency. For Mateo, that's going to be charisma and intimidation. Bosun, strength, carpenter, quartermaster,
Mhm.
wisdom, nature, surgeon, intelligence, medicine, and cook, constitution, cook's utensils, if you have proficiency.
Do we roll both? If I have wisdom and nature, do I roll both of them?
If you have wisdom and nature, that means you get proficiency in your. That means you would get proficiency with your check. Otherwise, you wouldn't.
So what am I rolling, Ian, for the bosun? Carpentry and strength.
Yeah, carpentry and strength.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't
carpenter's
have
tools and
carpentry.
strength. So
Yeah.
Since Mateo isn't proficient in intimidation, he rolls a charisma and an intimidation.
no, you just roll the charisma
Okay, I got you.
and add your. If you had proficiency, you would add your proficiency.
Oops, didn't mean to do that, but
15. Not bad.
still not bad. Yeah.
That's real good. That's good.
Wait, if he had his proficiency, what?
If you had proficiency in intimidation, you would add that.
Oh,
Otherwise, you
gotcha.
just roll straight charisma.
Okay, so it's just a flat charisma roll.
Yeah.
Is your charisma there, Mateo?
It's 18.
Okay. So today is a success.
Chuck, I think you're
Hey.
muted.
No, I'm not.
So for each
Yeah?
day, you guys are going to have to roll that to keep this shit, because you are acting as the crew to keep bad things from happening, basically.
Right.
And there is a table for this that makes it so bad things can happen.
Okay.
And now
I
I need to
think
look
just
up
out of
how fast you
curiosity,
can move.
Is it possible for some of us without jobs to aid those
Yes,
that do have them?
totally. If you want to aid somebody, like if they fail, you can jump in and try to aid them to give them advantage or whatever.
Yeah, I'll probably aid Blue. Just because I might not know how to drive a boat, but I know how to read the water. Damn it!
That's true.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
out the sails before we left, just because. See if there was any patching that needed to be done.
Yeah,
I think so,
Sarah.
Sarah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yee.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That'll push it to.
A victory.
Did we
I
do
think
even
it
better?
actually.
Oh, we already did good.
Yes, it
but,
does.
like,
I'm gonna roll.
Nice.
Are we going fast?
That means you do something real good.
You guys get to add 1 to your rolls the next day.
Hey,
Nice.
nice.
So tomorrow's rolls will all be increased by 1.
Okay.
Where are you
Thank you,
guys
Blue's
headed? What's the
advantage.
plan here?
Are we going
are
to
we-
Boali then?
Boali or White Dawn Lagoon?
That's
Pick.
what I was asking.
Where
Yep.
is
White Dawn here, Boali
So
here.
yeah, this one's Bawali, and that's White Dawn.
okay?
What
Let's
was the
go-
difference between the two?
So you
White
can go to
Dawn
here,
is-
and that would be a splitting point, I guess.
White Dawn Lagoon is where there's a joint temple to Avandra and the Wild Mother. And then Boali is where there's a potential chain.
There is a chain.
Let's-
There is
There
no
is a
potential.
chain.
There is a chain.
Right.
Let's go to Wally and find the chain so that no matter what, I can always teleport us back there.
Yes,
That sounds
good
like a
call.
good plan.
Okay.
Good idea. Okay.
We can
Boali it is.
maybe see if
Boali.
there are guards or hire some at least.
Mhm.
Okay. So
So-
that's about where you guys would get over the course of your first half day of floating, boating, sailing, whatever you want to call it. Over the course of the evening, you'd let the sail drop and just kind of coast, trying to keep course. I will let that be that. There's not really, I guess you could roll watches if you're worried about getting attacked by sea creatures, but adding mostly being on this, I guess, trade route, it's going to be fairly safe waters, so you would be, I guess, more inclined to be able to take a break if you wanted to.
Arthan would definitely still take his first watch.
If anybody
Gonna drop
wants,
anchor.
I'm going to put this into the Discord.
Mhm.
Under the RPG stuff. This is a link to the UA that I'm using if you guys wanted to learn more about your roles. There are other things like the bosun can give health back to the ship if it suffers damage.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
And currently I'm running with you guys. I will pull this up also. I'll just drop this into the chat as well.
Oh.
You guys are running as
Mutiny.
you guys are running as a long ship
Mutiny.
currently.
Running as a long ship.
Yes.
Hot.
Okay.
So you guys are doing 120 miles a day. It has you can carry 40 people on here if you really wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Has 300 hit points. And it has
Hey,
to it has to be above 15 damage to even damage the boat. So,
all right.
Just things to know.
Sweet.
Dropping and anchoring for the night, or are we continuing?
I'd let you guys drift if you wanted to, but if you don't, you can stop and anchor. I mean, and you'd be back there.
Well, we don't want to get too far off course if we're drifting.
Captain, my captain, what's your decision?
Whenever anybody talks to Blue, she just kind of goes, "Oh, my mic cut out. I was making a whining noise."
First mate, oh my first mate, what's your decision?
I'm sorry, I was tabbed out for a second. What's going on?
We anchor for the night or we drift for the night?
We're taking watches. We could drift.
Okay.
I mean,
so you
we're
guys
trying to
will
make
drift.
up time and get to Bawali, so.
And I guess first watch can roll that.
Perception?
Yes.
Corey also would have offered up that it's not wise to sit still in the ocean.
Valid.
When it gets towards nighttime, Mateo would offer to relieve Blue of the wheel so she could sleep.
I feel like Mateo that involves just like Blue. Mateo like takes Blue's hands off the
Just
wheel
peeling her
and
off.
takes her to where she
Yeah,
needs to go.
do you have a crowbar in your pack?
He does.
Yes,
He does.
actually, I do. Yes.
Crowbar and some oil. You
Rude.
know you're gonna need.
Oh.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
so
peel
10
her off the
because-
wheel, and then 10. Your watch goes uneventfully. There's a lot of things to keep track of that you're not used to having to keep track of, like the ship's movement, the waves, all of these different sounds, and it keeps you kind of jumping and guessing at everything, but nothing happens that's untoward to the ship. The right cursed so far has proven itself to be not cursed so far.
Mateo would take second watch.
Okay, go for it.
I'll take third.
Keep your hands on the wheel there, Mateo.
Yeah.
Okay, roll a perception, yeah. Okay, over the course of your watch, you would be able to see there are a couple of ships coming out of Port Damali towards you that seem like they probably have larger crews and don't do the whole drop sail drift with the current thing that you guys are doing, and they start gaining on you. You can see a couple of them pulling away from Broken Bank and seemingly pushing south, either to Vide Cay or even further south. And you'd see a number of things pushing in and out of the Gravid Archipelago, attempting to dodge and weave between the smattering of islands there that you can kind of see in the distance. You definitely feel like you're kind of in the midst of a very heavily traveled trade route.
Yeah. Okay. Make note of that, and I guess wake up Celia when it's her time.
Sick. Bah.
He just kind
Yeah.
of wake you up, and he'd be like, "We're kind of in the middle of a busy section of this ocean, so keep your eyes up."
Roger Dodger.
I think Arthan's just having a trouble getting comfortable on a boat with wings.
That's fair. All right.
Puddle is
14
particularly
for
uncomfortable.
perception. I'm like spending a lot of time like stargazing at sea because I've never done that before. You know?
It's pretty
So
magical. It
14.
reminds you of doing it in deep forest without the obstruction.
That's nice.
There's nothing to get in the way between you and all of these stars. A 14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much like Mateo, you would just see the ships kind of, I guess, pushing closer towards you from all of these different directions. Although the ones, I guess, going south, you would see drift away until you can no longer see them.
Gotcha. All right. That's nice. All right.
I guess at this point, Tori would be up from his trance.
Surprise, he's asleep.
Doesn't work like that.
I know, that's
Involuntary
the
kick.
surprise.
Oh, that's how Mateo goes to sleep real fast. He got kicked in the head.
Oh no.
And he's out.
Shit he didn't finish.
So
But no,
Stargaze.
he'd hang out with Celia and like, you had some questions about where I'm from. What do you want to know?
I'm curious about where you're from. Where in the sea?
The Inkclaw Reef.
Inkclaw?
Yeah, it's south, straight south as the crow flies from Nicodranus. It's southeast from here, but Brumblecusp is in the way.
Did you like it there?
It's very beautiful. It's one of the most rich and biodiverse places in the ocean, really.
Wow. How did you end up with these people? What made you
What,
leave?
You mean you?
Oh, well, by extension, yeah. Like, that's pretty far north of the Inkclaw Reef where we met. Well, I met you in Shady Creek Run, so very far north.
Some some not great things happened personally,
Mm.
and I was asked to maybe take off for a little while.
Well,
So I just kind of went to the mainland and went straight north because that seemed to be the direct line away.
do you ever miss it?
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, I bet if we go from Bwali to the lagoon, we can maybe pass
Unless you
through.
unless you aim to add another shipwreck to the pile, probably go around it.
Fair enough. Well,
We do our best to mark and signal the dangerous parts of the reef.
you want to go back someday?
It doesn't matter what I want. Do they want me back?
Well, if they don't want you back, they're dumb.
Hmm.
You're pretty capable. And a good person. So,
But he is right cursed.
whatever they decided, I think it was a dumb decision.
I think I'll need to be a different person for me to go home again. I think I'll have to change a lot before I can do that.
I don't mean to pry, but what happened?
Nothing good.
Yeah.
I lost everything. Twice.
Mm.
I lost everything I made for myself, and then I lost my home.
Well, maybe you can find a different home. At least for the time being. No.
I like what I've been doing. He kind of like smirks a bit. Think I'm on a good path with you guys.
I think so too. We're doing some pretty good work, I'd say.
I hope so.
Whatever happened between you and your people, we love you. And whatever they think, we don't care. So, you're good people. I don't think you need to change at all.
Let's hope we're getting to Wally first.
Good goal. Seems like we're pretty great at piloting boats, so feel pretty good.
Okay, and with that,
Has one victory. We're pretty good at this.
we'll go
This.
ahead and have you all roll your d20s again.
Percent win rate.
And we all
Watch
get to
me
add a
all
+1 to
fail.
that, right?
You all get to add a +1 to this one.
And
you got a
Sarah's
great
rolling at
success.
advantage.
Sarah
Yes.
is rolling at advantage.
Okay, I got a 19.
Me too.
I'll be there in a minute.
Oh wow.
Heck yeah.
Dang, we're doing
Nice.
hot.
Clipping along.
Is that everybody?
Not quite. Here in a sec.
Oh, we got
Cool.
Penance coming up. Penance has the ability to make or break this for you guys. Currently, you are sitting in a partial disaster.
Wait, what?
Hey.
What? In a what disaster?
A
God.
partial disaster.
Partial.
Oh no.
Celia says we're pretty good at this. Has a disaster the next day.
I mean, you have the ability to save it. It's not very far from being saved.
Penance.
But we've rolled so much better today.
And if you
I
guys
know.
hired a crew, there'd be a whole nother d20 that gets added to this, just as the crew
Shit.
helps. I like this. This is a fun little table here. And I can add
Oh,
things
God.
like a daily encounter on top of your ship struggling.
Hey,
Ah.
We're pretty good at this, and then Blue immediately rolling a 2 would have been fantastic.
That would have been
right?
hilarious.
Cursed.
Sorry. Little bit of a disaster. I'll be there in a sec.
Oh
You're
no.
okay.
Oh no, we believe in you.
Well, I guess that was the partial disaster. Just happened
Well,
out of
maybe
we
it's
got
character.
one
time for a
disaster to
break.
another.
Take a little break. Get you a drink.
Is it a pee break?
No,
Should we
it
take a-
does involve water though.
I mean, I'll
Quick,
take a
Sam,
pee
go
break.
pee. Go.
All
Come
right,
on.
thank you. All right.
Pee with the wind.
My dog's a pee break, so I'll be right back.
Man, you don't want to crash into objects. Does a bunch of damage to your ship.
We ain't crashing objects. It's the ocean. There's nothing out there. Empty.
Except if you crash into a dragon turtle, it does 16 d10.
Whoa. Dragon turtle, I like it.
So does damage threshold count as like DR?
Yeah, basically. It has to roll over that amount of damage to make an impact into the ship. So,
Okay.
like, a crossbow bolt won't necessarily do damage to the hull of the ship because it may not act realistically. It just thunks into it, you know?
I was trying to
So-
refill a water bottle and spilt water all over the place.
So like a 14 wouldn't do any damage, but would 16 do 16 points of damage, or would it do 2?
Sick.
It would do a 16. It just has to beat
Okay.
that threshold in order
Yeah.
to do damage.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, so you guys end up getting a success. The ship survives unscathed.
And
It's
I don't
not a
poison
great
you all
success
with
today.
I love when that happens.
I'm
Oh,
sure
wait.
Mateo looks a little frazzled. Kind of yelling at people to do things. It's not normally what he does.
And if you guys are just going straight for Buwali, I would say you probably just head straight south, avoiding the trade route for a little bit, kind of just cutting through open ocean. About maybe towards the end of the day, you're just barely off the eastern coast of Vide K as the sun is setting. You can see in the distance Rumble Cusp, a volcanic little mountain to the east, small tendril of black sulfuric smoke rising up. I guess it would be white sulfuric smoke actually at this point, and same to Bawali, to your almost direct south at this point. With Tori guiding you guys, you would know that you would kind of have to cut this way and that way to avoid the reefs. And knowing that, you should be able to. Actually, that's literally where you would get by the end of the day. Would be 17. That's how far you can travel per day. So you could theoretically reach the shores of Buwali tomorrow.
Nice.
Over the course of the day, you would have passed a number of ships that would have been moving off to your west, looking like they're along the trade routes and things of that nature. I would say also Celia, Mateo, those of you with very high passive perception, so 18 or higher, all the way out here, you would see a very dark cloud of black smoke rising up.
That's not good.
Hope it's on fire.
I think throughout the day, Mateo would try and give Blue a couple breaks at the wheel so that she doesn't literally crush it under her hands.
Just white knuckling it the whole day. By the end of the day, you can see there's just like these perfect little, almost finger grooves like a steering wheel has.
They were always there.
They were always there. They were carved there. I didn't make those. How dare you suggest I be that strong? Okay. So yeah, if you guys want to do watches, you are more than welcome to do so.
In the evening, can I do a quick sending spell?
Sure.
Cool.
Is it to me?
No. I'm gonna do a quick sending spell to Inma.
Oh, yeah.
Inma's the person who's in charge of the mercenary
Guard.
group, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's now technically in charge of the Phoenix Guard.
Phoenix Guard, thank you.
You're not sure if she has taken the control of both the Phoenix Guard and the Order of Wardens, or if she has appointed somebody to take charge of the Order of Wardens for her. You're uncertain of that.
Gotcha, thank you. So I'm just gonna send her a quick send. Hey, how are things going? Just checking in. Wanted to say hi. Also, do you like flowers? What kind? Thank you. That's it.
Okay. She would respond with, hello. Things are well. Oh wait, no, she's crazy Irish pirate lady. Let's see. I have to find her voice.
You're all
Hello
good.
there, Missy. Things are well, I suppose. Dealt with one of them dwarven instigators, spy type fellow. Got him locked up tight. Flowers. Yes, I do like star drops. Why?
I'll just send her a message back. Don't worry about it. Using a whole spell slot for that.
You'll get a response of, right then, I won't spend any time fretting over why you're worrying about flowers there, Missy. Hope you're having fun. Tell your friends I look forward to the next time I see them.
Alright, that's it.
Okay. If you're doing watches, go ahead and do the perceptions.
Yeah, Mateo would take his second watch as per normal.
I take third again.
Is Arthan taking first, as is his
I
normal?
think. Yeah, I think Selena's walking the dogs.
Ah. That will happen.
I can take first.
Okay, go for it, Penance. Roll your perception.
Well, that one's going in dice jail.
Oh no.
A whole 6.
Yeah, your watch goes very uneventfully. The only thing you really can see in this wide array of stars and dark sea is the shores of the Vide Cay, this very almost barren little island to your northwest. Otherwise, your watch is very quiet and uneventful. Just the sound of the ship slapping the sea. I guess you would drift a little bit southerly with the tide over the course of the evening into there. So, second watch, which I believe is Mateo.
Mateo. Perception. There it is.
Damn.
Okay, Mateo, you would note in the distance over here is what looks to be a fairly sizable fire because you can still see the glow in the sea. Seems fairly low in the water from what you can see. And you assume there's a fairly large pillar of black smoke at this point rising from that because you can still see the glowing of it. To the north, you would see all the islands and some of the ships moving back and forth, but with a almost 30, you would note pushing away from this is a dark shadow from that fire, and it seems to be pushing directly this way.
Of course.
Seems like a sail basically silhouetted against the flame is what you could see.
Mateo would spend, I don't know, the equivalent of 2 rounds to fly up with the boots and see if he can't get a better eye line on what's coming their direction.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception with advantage, or investigation, I guess. Either or, you choose, because you're taking time to look at it deeper, I guess. From this height, you can see the ship is definitely larger than your long ship. Probably 200 people crew, maybe. That large of a size. Probably has 6 to 8 cannon on either side of the ship. It definitely looks like some kind of a galley.
We did yet?
You can see that it does have probably 3 masts rising up. So it's probably a little bit faster than you guys are.
What's going on?
Mateo's on watch and he sees a big ship heading our way from out this way.
Okay.
How far out, like, can Mateo imagine that would take for them to get to us?
They're currently maybe just leaving that fire that you can see.
Oh no, pirates.
They'd probably reach you midday tomorrow if you guys stayed put where you are now. If they sail at the same speed they are now.
And we're just kind of drifting, yeah?
Currently, yeah, you guys are currently probably about where the Y and K is as you're drifting south right now.
Alright, Mateo will keep an eye on it. But
yeah, it seems like it's
there's a lot.
continuing to sail mostly east, but you would note over the course of your watch that it does seem to be trying to tack with the winds a little bit more south and east after a little bit. So it ends up doing more of like this kind of a journey. At first it was kind of doing this, and it would probably go to about there and then start tacking like that.
Looks like they might be trying to set up to intercept us or intercept someone.
You would also, I guess, when you say that, Tori would know that that's also where that reef cuts, basically.
Oh yeah, because Tori wakes up like mid my watch, right?
Yeah, he would wake up about halfway through your watch, and you probably come back down from flying around. Tori would come out of his trance. So either they're already planning on cutting down this way and avoiding the reef is just what they're doing, and that's why they came so far east initially, just directly, and why they're angling south now. Or they do have other plans, you're not sure.
I guess when he sees Tori, he'd be like, so I don't know necessarily if it's something we need to worry about immediately, but he'll kind of point off in the distance. Big fire out that way. And there is a very large ship, well, larger than us, sails out, coming our kind of direction.
He's doing things.
There you go. That's the drawing. It's an unhappy face. But that's about where they are.
Probably something worth keeping your eye out on. I don't know if that had anything to do with the other big fire that's out there, but it definitely came from that direction. And yeah, I think Mateo would just keep watching it for the rest of his watch and then go wake up Celia.
Okay.
Sick. All
Kind of
right.
shake Celia awake and be like, so
When
Tori
you
can
wake
give you the bigger
Celia,
details, but there's another
that's
ship.
where the ship is at this point.
Little frowny face. I love the sound of ominous ships. Thank you for letting me know.
Maybe just this once it's a coincidence, huh?
I'd love a coincidence.
Okay, so you can go ahead and roll a perception there, Celia.
Oh. Ooh, gross.
Final watch.
Oh wait, I get to add something to this? +1? No, that's to the other one. Never mind. It'll just 19.
Okay. Yeah, you would be able to, because of Mateo, see this. Oh, it's not a single thing. I have to move you guys away.
We're off course.
You're suddenly very off course.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Whoa. No. Why will you not listen to me?
Just doesn't wanna.
Okay, so by the time you're up and paying attention, that is where their ship is.
Don't trust like that. They're definitely on course to Boali. Okay. When people wake up, I'm gonna let everyone know about the ship headed towards Boali.
Okay, so yeah, in the morning, as you guys continue on, you would be able to see that this ship has basically come down to that point, and you
Ah,
can see it's anchored there.
great.
You want to do a quick scry on the twins?
I absolutely should. It's gonna take up one of my spells, but I will. Could I attempt to scry on Clara?
Yes, you can. What is the save again?
Oh boy, it is a. Let me find it.
Wisdom?
Doesn't he have like a
Wisdom.
-9 because you have stuff?
Yes,
Yes,
yes. It's
there's
gonna be a
-9.
-9. Wisdom save 19. My thing just went up.
She rolled a whopping 10.
Got him, ladies and gentlemen.
So you would scry her. She is currently sitting at a desk. You can see in a very dimly lit area, although for you it is early morning, and that doesn't make sense that it should be morning wherever she is, unless she's on the other side of the planet from you, which you know that she wasn't last you saw her. She is currently scrawling into a book as a knock on the door happens. A familiar, bald-pated, pudgy human face peeks in. She turns. I've received word, brother Buddha, that our hired individuals have reached their destination and have begun searching for the shall we call it the location for the time being. He'll just nod, smile, very large, close the door. She'll go back to looking at the book and scrawling into it.
May I ask a quick clarifying question?
Mm-hmm.
Knock at the door. Casper said, "I've received word from what?"
They're hired individuals.
They're hired individuals. Thank you. I accent. Okay. Thank you. I'm all but certain that the twins hired whoever's on that ship.
Well, we better get going.
Haul ass, yeah. They're searching for something, which we all know what that is. So I think we actually are one step ahead of the twins, kind of. You're absolutely correct, my captain.
Okay, so you guys can
How
make
do we
it
make this boat
17.
go faster?
So you can choose where to land within 17. Just keep in mind that as you guys get closer, you can definitely see that there are still individuals seemingly camped out on their boat. There is some small party that seemingly jumped off onto the shore. You can see at least one small vessel on the shore of the island of Buwali bobbing up and down in the surf. And a couple of them may be still dragged up onto the beach. But there is maybe, I would say, from what you can guess, 30, 40 people still on board the ship.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can maybe fly overhead invisibly and get a better look at them if you want. And then if you want to send me a message, Celia or Tori, and I can report back.
mean, we are like the only boat out here. It's not going to be hard to see us coming up, no matter which direction we take.
True.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can get
I
17.
could cast fog cloud or wind wall.
Is this a particularly misty ocean? Would fog work to kind of disguise us?
It's
I
an
think it depends
ocean.
on the weather, doesn't it?
I mean, all oceans are misty at some point. Doesn't mean
It
that
would
it's
last for the
particularly
duration or
misty.
until a wind of greater speed than 10 miles an hour disperses it.
I will be right
What's-
back.
What's the duration?
For the duration, it just says it lasts for the duration or until a wind disperses it.
Under the option for duration, it'll say
up
like
to an
instant
hour.
up to an
Up to
hour.
an hour.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so over the course of the day, you get 17.
Mhm.
So you can get anywhere along this northern coast. You could go straight up to their boat if you wanted to. You can get all the way down to this end of the western coast. You could theoretically do something like try to get to that very southern tip of that peninsula that they're on. Try to sail past them, but they definitely would see you doing something like that.
Unless I made the fog.
There's not normally much on Buwali. It's either,
But I
mean,
can
as far
make
as
it.
you know, it's a volcanic island with wilderness.
But I mean, if
this,
I make fog, they're not going to see where we land, is all I'm saying.
this big flat top mountain right here is a volcano.
A little dangerous to permanently inhabit, maybe.
Yeah. I agree. Stealth might be out. We could show the twins that we're ready to square up. I think we could.
I mean, if you wanted,
So
you
get
could
ready to
also
sail right to them and battle it out.
sail west a couple days
Well,
and do something like
there's a
this.
That's what I
chance.
was going to suggest. If we don't want to get into a head-on-head encounter, we could go to the other side of the island.
But that's a long, long way to get there.
And that's a long, long way to get there.
Can also just go straight there and get there tomorrow. If you wanted to get really far down there.
I think that we have to have haste in mind because they're actively searching for this chain on the island.
Yeah.
So I feel like probably a conflict is inevitable in some capacity.
I mean, we're also making the assumption that the boat we saw that is their hired associates and not another boat that followed them.
Hmm.
What?
Good old classic Blue.
Oh.
Just vote to hit them right here. Just vote down to like right there and just go search the island.
I mean, we could just sail right at their boat, and if they're hostile, I can use control water to make a whirlpool.
Let's do that.
That's
There's
terrifying.
going to be a reason they went there, right? So it's likely to be close to there. If they're who
Right,
we
they
think
went
they
there.
are.
Right.
One
Who
can-
votes we sail right for them, basically?
I vote that way.
Vote that. I'll vote that.
Okay, so we got 2 people going for directly towards unhappy face.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to take
Three,
any
let's
longer
do
than
it.
we have to.
Mm-hmm. So 3 people? 4 people.
So Mateo's in on that. So that's
Mateo's in on it. See what our loveliest Blue says. The chain would be smack. Hmm.
Got a point.
Smack dab in the middle would be basically almost directly underneath the volcano.
Well, what
Blue,
about?
do you think? Sorry.
I would say also at this point, any of you could roll, if you're proficient, a history check on the island of Buwali. As you are getting closer and you're getting more and more familiar with it?
I will, just because it's near-ish my home.
I'm proficient, so I'll roll.
Oh, baby.
Oh, I thought it was a 20, but it wasn't a 20. It was the opposite of one. So both Arthane and Blue would know that traditionally, let me get the book for this. This is some fancy knowledge that isn't
Ooh.
on the internet.
Wow. Pull out the book.
Fancy knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah. Blue and I are
Wally
nerds.
is the largest of the Swavane Islands. You would know that. The volcanic peak is known as Ita, Itaa, and it is said to have been one of the many thrones of Cord, the Storm Lord, while he walked Exandria.
That would explain why a chain would be there.
Yes.
Um,
I'm all four-headed
Arthane
in
with
the
a
direction of the
25, you would
Oh,
also
sorry.
know that Buwali is rumored to be a pirate haven because nobody else comes here, and it is so dangerous, both with the volcano and that causing instability, and the wilderness being rumored to be filled with dark, nasty creatures, that pirates will often come here and make small little havens to hide their treasure hoards.
I'll make that note to everybody then.
So we destroy the twins and do some treasure hunting. I like it.
Are they actually even on the boat? I don't know, but
Here's our cover story. We're pirates. We're just dropping gold off. Look at this giant bag of money.
Yeah. We do have a giant bag of money.
yeah, that's true.
We have a
Burying
bag of
money.
money.
Okay, so you still haven't given me a landing point.
Many
I
of
vote
us-
going in their direction.
Yeah, I
You
think
wanna go
most of
straight
us
for 'em?
voted go for it.
Straight for
Let's
'em.
yeah,
Yeah.
deal with them.
Balls to the wall.
Ramming
let's see.
speed.
You guys would probably, I guess, as you're pushing down towards them, probably as you get 3/4 of the way through the day at the bottom of this here L in Isles, you would see them leaving the 2 or 3 little boats that are on shore, push off, and they begin heading directly west from you, just north of the southern gate reef. They're gonna go. They are just pushing east directly out of. They pull up anchor, leaving a small detachment of people on shore. It seems like you're not sure if it's in reaction to you guys pushing in towards them, or if they were gonna do this anyway. You're not at all sure.
Can we see what kind of beings are on there?
From this
Pretty sure.
distance, probably not. It's more than 50 miles. It's more than 60
that far away
miles.
still.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just see a big dark sail. They definitely, the main difference between them and any of the other ships that you can see so far is that their ship sail is not white linen or silk. It is a dark black, either stained or dyed black or dark navy color. It's hard to tell in this lighting.
You can always scry on the twins again, see if they got word. Takes out one of my higher level spells if we're planning on potentially a fight today, but I can always.
Well, I mean, even if they hired pirates, they would be people that pirates would be people who know the area anyway. So, but yeah, if you wanted to do that,
I mean, we could just land where they landed. It's not like we need our boat to get out of here.
That's true. Oh, right, Cursed, you are expendable.
We no longer know what money is worth.
We have a lot.
Yeah, you
of
guys
it.
have maybe traveled like
Yeah.
a third of the day at this point. You know, you probably have another third of the day you could travel before you would hit the shore.
We get there at like 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you'd get there about 3:30. And given their current course, at that point they would be hitting the shipping route. And you'd be able to see there are currently ships pushing both north and south along that, within eyesight of you.
Could be they just got passage for the people to go there and not.
Could be. Wouldn't put that past the twins, you know? Small team.
Yep.
Let's land.
Are you gonna scry on them or no?
Only if we think it'll be useful, but again, I'm here for helping out. So, you know,
Let's wait to scry on them until after we're done for the day.
yeah,
That's what Blue says too.
Yeah,
perfect.
because that way, if you need that higher
Are you just
spell,
planning on landing where they landed, basically, at the tip of the peninsula?
Probably.
Yeah.
Sounds like solid.
Okay, so you guys travel another third of the day, getting there about 3:15 as this ship pushes directly out, and you can see it drops anchor directly in the middle of that trade route.
Mm.
Definitely
like that
within
the
a
ship is
day's
the frowny
journey
face.
of you guys easily.
So you get that around the 3:30 time.
Hmm. Also, I forgot, before you
Oh.
guys reach there, you guys need to roll your
Oh.
checks for me
Oh yeah.
for ship
Oh,
stuff.
right.
Just to see if you get there successfully or if some bad things happen.
So is it Blue do it? Because she's the captain, or do we all do it?
You all roll
We all roll
your
our
checks,
yeah.
your individual checks.
Okay.
Blue with
So
advantage.
for you, I believe it was
Oh no.
wisdom nature.
That's what I thought.
Oh no. Oh no.
Ian, can I use my luck reroll?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
Wow. You barely didn't succeed. You're in a partial disaster.
No.
So each
Rocked.
portion of your ship is going to, yeah, as you guys are pulling in, there is a section of the Deep Row Reef that has, or maybe it's a section of Bawali, the island of it, that you didn't realize was kind of sticking a little bit beneath the surf. And the ship itself, each portion of it is going to take 22 damage. So for your guys' ship, the hull takes 22 damage out of 300.
Ooh.
The helm
Okay,
takes 22 damage out of 50.
Oof.
The sails take 22 damage out of 100. And
Oof.
the oars take 22 damage out of 100.
Okay.
So I can keep track of all that for you, so that you guys
Thank
don't
you,
have to
my
worry about
friend.
ship HP. So I guess the scariest thing is that your hull is pretty close, or your helm is pretty close to half health, which means it kind of gets caught up on some of these rocks, and some of the ability to turn gets pulled away and dragged, and some of the roping gets stretched, and it's just not as responsive as it should be, and it is definitely suffering.
Mm.
But everything else is, I guess, menial damage. It's just that that helm is pretty important and has pretty small amount of health.
Gonna glance over at
You
Tori.
would know
I
that if
mean,
it's
I still
destroyed,
mean what I
you
said.
can't turn.
Ugh.
But you are here, docked. You can see their little ships, their little dinghies up against the shore here. And you do not see any sign of them as it's pushing about 3:30 as you guys pull in.
They didn't leave anybody on their ship? That's kind of weird.
I mean, their big ship, yeah. But on their little, there's nobody on shore, and all their little dinghies, you can actually see 2 of them are starting to drift away with the tide into the actual ocean again. One of them is still fairly well beached.
Still have enough daylight hours to go roaming through the island.
By tracking them down.
Did we land?
You are at land, yes.
We kind of crash landed.
Yeah, you kind of
I
did
wouldn't say-
crash land.
It was more a rough landing.
I mean, you can
I
walk
still think
away
we're
from
pretty
it.
good at this whole boat thing.
We are just.
So, guess go out and see where their tracks lead if there's any tracks in the sand.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. I don't do some tracking. Would that be like survival?
Yeah, would be if you guys just, I guess, pull up as close as you can and you all swim for shore.
We don't have any.
You don't have no
landing
ding.
boats?
There's no landing boat on the longship, no.
Right, I jump in and swim.
Yeah, it's not like
Jump.
you guys are within 100 yards, so it's not like it's scary. It just takes some time. You have to get through the surf, and it batters at you a little bit. Those of you that are unfamiliar with it, people like Tori, perhaps, a little bit more adept at maneuvering through the ocean, get there a lot faster than some of you. Perhaps someone like
Mateo.
Youth, who is both young and growing and not used to the ocean, maybe do some splashing and floundering before they get to shore. There's maybe that
Arthen flies
humorous
over.
moment of, Arthen flies over. But there's maybe that humorous moment of Youth splashing in to the shallows, thinking he needs to still be swimming. And somebody tells him that he can stand up, and like it's Blue standing next to him and like pulls him back onto his feet, sort of a thing. And they both wander into the shore from there. He looks a little sheepish.
Definitely look like someone who's from inland swimming in an ocean.
Also
Yes.
wearing
My
heavy
look.
armor. It's not easy. But yeah, as you guys get in, I would say you can roll that survival. They definitely have left a fairly, it looks to be about maybe 12, 15 individuals. And it definitely seems like they were cutting directly this direction. Overland. Oh wait, hold
Which
up.
direction?
Like this.
Yeah,
Towards
so
the volcano,
Arthen.
like Blue thought.
Yeah, Arthen flies over and immediately just starts tracking as soon as he touches ground and waiting for everybody.
I'm gonna go pee real quick. Pee break.
Pee break.
Alrighty.
Everybody roleplay now. Water in my mouth.
Arthen will look at Blue. All right, where's my damn treat?
I'm afraid my snacks are gonna be all wet.
Oh,
Ugh,
soggy beef
salty.
jerky.
Ugh.
Well,
I think it's a magical bag, right? So I don't think it would get all wet.
I hope not. That'll bum me right out.
Oh yeah, but he also got that bag of what, plenty or something like that from Blackjack.
Yeah.
Bag of Bounty, I think it was called.
Blue's pockets are salty beef jerky, which, extra salty beef jerky then.
And probably a little easier to chew. I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing.
Oh. It's important to, maintain a good sodium level. It helps retain hydration.
Right.
So it works. It's great. It's
I know, that's
fine.
why we always had pickles backstage.
Exactly. Blue's
Ah.
pocket beef
Mm.
jerky is the equivalent of backstage pickles. Putting that out there.
And sometimes they're extra salty from the sea, and sometimes extra salty for when Blue is feeling salty.
Seeps into the jerky. Sarah, you can just rest easy knowing that you're our backstage pickle supply. Yeah?
That was the best part of Mamma Mia.
It's part of Mamma
Again,
Mia with
gross.
backstage pickles.
And the dance parties, honestly, the side stage dance parties were fun.
That's
Yes.
true too, yes.
And James would bring me those like Belvita breakfasty things that had blueberries in them. That would feed me for days. I love them.
Velveeta, like cheese?
No, like the Belvita.
Oh,
Belvita. I don't know what they're
Belvita.
called. They're like those little breakfasty type snack things that are like
They're like
blueberry
breakfast
filled.
cookies, yeah.
Breakfast
Okay.
cookies, but
Breakfast
soft
cookies.
and filled with blueberries.
They were
He'd bring me
yummy,
those.
yeah. And the fruit snacks.
Fruit snacks.
Actually, he would just kind of he kind of treated us all like his little kid.
That's
I
because
mean-
he's used to being a dad.
He's a good
I mean,
dad.
He is.
James' dad skills came into play real great with 20, 23-year-old me, so whatever. It's fine. I'll take snacks. Welcome back. Chris.
Close.
Mando, quit being a grumpy puppy.
Hey, Mendo.
Oh, I have him in his crate so he can just chill out. And we went for a long hour-long walk. So I think he's overtired, so he's fussing.
Selena, my love, if you want, I'm going to be babysitting a 15-month-old black lab later next month. I got full permission to take him wherever I want for walksies. So if you want to hit up anywhere like dog park or a locale to tire out both Benny and your pups, always down.
Mando needs more tiring out. Ellie, I've been taking her with walks every other time I go because my dear Ellie is going to be 9 years old here at the end of March.
Wow.
Yeah.
A
So
little
just
senior
putting it
lady.
out there. I can tire out
I
your puppy
appreciate
at
that.
least.
Oh yeah, we could definitely tire out the puppy. You know where we could go? We could go to my brother's property.
Yes. Benny
'Cause
is
we
really
don't-
good and always comes back.
Mando is not, so he would be on a leash, but we could go onto my brother's property and let the dogs run wild.
Absolutely, I'm down for that.
Okay, cool. And I can give you the
Oh, yeah.
hug. Anyway.
Yes.
So you guys all pull up on the beach over the course of about 10 minutes or so. Some of you swimming, some of you flying. Arthan finding the tracks that lead inland.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Start leading the way.
What's the terrain like?
The terrain?
Yeah.
Or the
Like, what's it
island?
like here?
Flora and fauna? Is it?
It's
The
like
terrain, not the train.
that was like a train.
Terrain.
The terrain
Terrain.
here is, I guess, somewhat jungly. With its a very volcanic island, so there is that somewhat black, heavy, coarse sand. Any rock formations that you do see are those heavy, black, porous rock that stick out at odd angles. And there are a large number of tunnels and moving through this area just what look to be funnels or chutes that maybe once housed active flows of lava. Again, you can see and smell at this distance the volcano just rising in that sulfuric smell that fills the air around it. And the jungle itself is this very heavy, dark, atmospheric, deep, wet jungle with the humidity just sticking to you to where you all begin to feel very almost sweaty and moist before you even begin setting foot off the beach.
Yeah, Arthan's making a face because I'm sure the smell is just gonna give him a headache.
I'm
We're
gonna
in
be
two places?
keeping. I'm gonna keep like an eye out, see if I see any people, scary animals, etc. You know, just eye out as we go.
What are you doing? Sorry.
I'm just as we walk, I'm keeping an eye out, making sure I don't see any people or scary island animals, stuff like that.
You definitely are entering a very deep, dense, dark jungle. Entering into it, you would begin to hear sounds of birds and some exotic creatures you've never heard of. And I guess make a perception or a survival check. Arthan is mainly tracking for you guys, taking the lead currently, and trying to keep track of this group of people's feet that have landed about 2/3 of a day ahead of you.
All right, I rolled 17.
You don't see anything at first, but maybe about as you guys have said, in at about 3:30, at about maybe 4:30 or 5 o'clock, as the sun is beginning to dip pretty low. You would, in the distance, maybe about 100 yards away, see what looks like clothing or something hanging from a tree, some kind of cloth. But no animals or any sign of creatures over the course of the day.
Could I like inch a bit closer to that
It is,
cloth and see
yeah,
if it was
it's like a scarlet piece of cloth that you can see maybe as you
scarlet?
get closer, maybe 75 yards away.
Does it look like anything we've seen before? Or is it?
It's like a
Does it
raggedy
look like it
piece
was?
of cloth from what you can see at this distance with that check.
Does Blue
Okay.
or does Celia point that out at all, or I figure Arthan's just more keeping his eyes to the ground?
Yeah, does Blue point that out? Like, acolyte
Celia
You're the one
cloth?
sealing it.
Oh, well. Does it? But that's kind of what I was thinking. Did it look kind of like the scarlet we found when we found those? Oh my God, what were they called? Those acolytes Aileros invented. Yeah. Does it look kind of like that, or is it more like something torn off accidentally?
It looks more like haphazard and just a scrap of cloth, like maybe a small piece of sash. The only thing I guess that would be remarkable about it is the height that it is at. It's like maybe 20 feet off the ground, hanging on a random thorny branch in some weird jungle tree.
I'll point that out to people because that's weird. Point that out.
Would it be visible from the shore or from the ocean?
No, this is
Being
dense
that high?
jungle.
No.
Does it feel like somebody's trail marker? somewhere not so obvious, but if they're following, they know where to look?
Oh, that's a great question. Is there a body beneath it? That's a great question.
Is there evidence of digging underneath it?
Blood.
So that would
Body.
be kind of obvious.
Limb.
I would say, let's see. If you're inspecting it more, go ahead and roll perceptions. Yeah, and if you're, that's at this distance. If you're getting closer, say you're getting closer. It's, I guess, Blue, it's hard to see at this distance. You can see there's definitely churned up earth beneath it. Looks like heavily wet earth as well, muddy. But at this distance, it's hard to tell. Celia, with a 27, as you and Pennant start creeping closer, you can see the earth underneath it is a different, the mud underneath it is a different color than the rest of the, in a fairly sizable patch, maybe 10, 15 foot patch of earth that is churned maybe 6 inches of mud of this. The rest of it's this almost tannish clay color. In this patch, there is a level of maroon to it almost. Like the mud has gained some amount of terracotta almost. As you guys get closer, you can see that the scrap hanging from the tree is definitely what looks to be a scrap of what used to be a fine silken white sash. That is stained with blood, hanging about 20 feet up in the tree from a single piece of, like, thorn. As you guys, the two of you get a little bit closer at this point, you can see just barely the two of you, more Celia than Penance, kind of pointing out that there is what looks to be some kind of a large discarded stick or thorn that's stuck in the mud pile. But as you get a little closer, you can see that thorn resolves itself. It has a little bit more definition, and it is definitely the, like, lower half of a leg, like calf foot of a leg with boot still included. Just in this mud puddle.
Let's not step on the mud puddle. Maybe back up.
No.
Again?
Yeah, let's back
Do you want to
up.
throw a rock at the mud puddle? You know. See, there's mud puddles we have to be careful about.
At this distance, you can definitely see that it looks like something large. You can see at the edge of that mud puddle has left a footprint.
Okay.
Probably 4 large toes and a singular back toe, almost like a bird foot. With large 6 to 8 foot long talons on the end of them. And it has left this impression in the mud that's probably maybe a foot to 2 feet deep in this mud on the edge of it. And it's even probably 8 to 6 inches deep in the hard packed earth of the jungle that is not this mud puddle. And it is this just large, probably 6 to 8 foot long, or no, it's probably like 12 to 15 foot long claw or footprint. Just a singular one that you can see. And you can see a large number of footprints just running off from the mud puddle into the jungle, scattering, seemingly.
Giant beastie might try and kill us. Eyes peeled.
I think that's a pretty much a given.
Yep. 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 Good to know. Good to know.
Okay.
Head back to the group. Make sure that I tell them everything.
All
Always
right.
good
Well,
news.
did it look fresh or had been there for a while?
It looked like it was. I mean, you saw those guys get on the shore probably about 4 or 5 hours ago. This looks like it was probably about maybe 2 or 3 hours ago.
Recent enough to be worried about it.
Okay. Let's keep going.
One of them got eaten. I saw people running away from the incident, so maybe they got tracked down. There's a chance. So,
Hopefully, one less problem.
in a perfect world.
Okay, so as Celia says, in a perfect world, ironically, you would
Oh
hear
no.
straight up the Tyrannosaurus Rex screech cry from Jurassic Park, and it echoes through the trees, and you would see a number of
Yep.
trees bend and fall. And as that
dear.
happens, you would see 2 or 3 very large creatures break from the tree line and stomping through that mud puddle that you saw. These are probably maybe 300-foot tall creatures, very long-necked, huge, large, almost obese type bodies and long tails and these long legs, almost like tree trunks, and they stomp through, almost shaking the earth. You all have to catch yourselves against tree trunks and small roots and things near you. And as these things stomp, running away from you, almost breaking the tree line, you'd see probably maybe 10, 15 more of them within the tree line. And following them out of the tree line comes 2, 3 very large lizard creatures. They remind you maybe a little bit of dragons, except they have very short little stubby arms. They stand probably about 40, maybe 50 feet tall. They have very large, almost crocodilian heads, and they're seemingly chasing these large, almost herbivore looking creatures, and then they stop and they all turn and look to you as a group. And one of them will just do that Tyrannosaurus Rex. And the 2 of the other ones will start trying to push to flank you guys. And that is where we will
Time to
end
go.
the session as these T-Rexes
God.
push to attack you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna death grip the arms of whoever is standing on either side of me. Huh.
Okay, Jurassic Park in the dark.
This is
Huh.
gonna
Yeah,
be
so
great.
yeah, the setting sun and to
Shit.
the west of you guys, and these 3 T-Rexes pushing in to attack you guys, and that is where we'll call the session.
Oh, good.
I've got Weird Al Yankovic in
Fantastic.
my head.
Phenomenal.
Good old cliffhanger time.
Oh yeah, haven't had one for a while.
Plus, I've
With
never played
impending
with like
doom.
dinosaurs and T-Rex. Sounds like such a fun thing to like beef up and have you guys fight, because they're not that beefy really. But if I can change them a little bit and give them some crazy, I mean, this is Cords Island, so they're gonna be some crazy T-Rex,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God's full T-Rex.
So I'm excited.
Whoever's on either side of me is getting real good fingernail imprints on them right now.
Getting some
Who
Celia
would
death
that
grip.
be?
Whoever wants to be
Let up,
standing
let
next
up,
to
let
me,
up, let up, let up.
I've got you. No. I didn't. One of them.
figure we walked out of the trees together, so that would be me for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you 2 were the group coming back that they followed the scent of, basically.
Good.
Makes sense.
We love you, Sarah.
Yeah, glad you're able to play with us.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad you stuck it out.
And And I'm happy to communicate with you in every which way if you want to communicate through
Yeah,
just like
if this
eyebrow
is this as
motions
much
alone.
easier
Got
for you?
Eyebrow.
Yeah, if you want to just
raises
like zoom
winks.
in on just do
Yeah.
emotes with your eyebrows and make us guess, I'm
I can
totally game to
interpret
do
for
it.
you. Yeah.
Ooh, interpretive
On-
eyebrow worm dancing.
Yes.
Interpretive eyebrow worm dancing. You'll get super dexterous eyebrows, and then you know you do with that with what you will. You know.
Hey, we're only willing to put up with
Yeah, we know.
foolishness because we love you. So we'll be fools for you too.
We're always.
Oh
No, you can't.
No, don't do
You
that.
can't.
Don't do that.
You're not. That's not allowed, Chris.
Banned
Not even
forever.
sure I know what
Ban.
that is.
Ooh woo.
Didn't
Glad
you?
you don't.
Why is it a big W?
Yeah, why
You
is it a
know.
big Anyways, next week we'll pick up with T-Rex fight. You versus 3
All right.
T-Rexes.
God, that's gonna be a
Joy.
unique one.
That one, okay. No, yeah.
It'll be fun.
I think
Don't
I-
worry about it.
Be
Good
funny,
times.
Ted.
Good time.
Yeah.
Better role
Two
play
dreams in my
today.
youth that really messed me up. One was Dracula and the other was T-Rexes.
Yeah, there you go. Now you have a whole week to worry about it as a character.
How generous.
Thank God my memory is not that good.
Yeah, you'll remember it
Shock
as you listen to it over next week, and you'll be like, "Oh no, that's right. We're getting attacked by T-Rexes,
Dinosaurs.
which is even worse because that means velociraptors."
No.
I can turn into a dinosaur.
Shit,
I've got a
for turkey.
velociraptor. He
Well,
thinks
now
he's
you
a puppy.
can. Now you've seen them.
can.
Now you can start turning
Yeah.
into them. That's the best part of this is that the druid can start to do.
Ooh, free!
Absolutely.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
funny velociraptors,
my
and we have somebody named
goodness.
Blue here.
Oh man.
So Sam, we need to talk. Do you want to just give me a call?
Well, I just heard an echo of you.
Yeah, I know.
Double talk. All right, I'm gonna stop
A
recording.
double talk.